Apply in branch or online at atfcu.com. Get this rate before it's gone and celebrate President's Day with incredible savings. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is here to help bring your dreams within reach. So, if you're looking for financing for a new vehicle or looking to finance a home improvement project, ATFCU is here with a variety of affordable loan options that bring your dreams to life. Don't miss this opportunity. Sign up during our President's Day special and get a loan for as low as 1.90% APR. Take advantage of these incredible rates. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is the clear choice. Your less red tape banking alternative. An equal housing lender. Annual percentage rate. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to credit approval. The rate you qualify for is determined by your creditworthiness.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. Swain Event, hour number 1 is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. HappyHiller.com. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio. Ben, good morning, my good friend.
Good morning. How are you?
Good to go. Good to go. Tennessee tonight. On the road, Missouri. Missouri about to catch those hands from Tennessee. Bouncing back after the tough road loss to Arkansas. We got some news yesterday, Ben.
We did?
Some football news. Yeah, man. It was a dull couple of weeks. Tennessee football. And yesterday during the show, Pete Thamel, ESPN, reported that Tennessee receiver coach Cody Burns was leaving to take an NFL job with the New Orleans Saints, and I just didn't believe you at first.
You did not.
I should have believed you, man. I mean, what kind of friend doesn't believe another friend when they're trying to tell them some news? I apologize.
A bad friend.
I apologize. I should have believed you. I didn't believe you at first.
Should have.
But don't lie, you read the news and you had to check to make sure it was the real Pete Thamel, not fake Pete Thamel.
No.
You just believed it?
Yeah, because I saw that it was Pete Thamel, not fake Pete Thamel.
Surprising, but here we are. Tennessee's looking for a wide receiver coach, and this is pretty normal in the offseason, making some staff moves. It was just that Tennessee was like the only school that didn't have any staff movement, but it's natural to have at least one or two, in some cases more than that. Guys are trying to jock for positioning for their careers and put themselves in the best situation. Location can be a big determining factor. We saw David Johnson leave Tennessee and wanted to be closer to their family. Also, he was jumping off of a sinking ship and wanted to reunite with his coach that he worked with at Memphis as well. So it could be a number of factors why coaches leave. In this case, Cody Burns, maybe the recruiting is something he did not want to do, jump into the NFL. Maybe he wanted more time jumping to the NFL. But whatever, he is in the league, and now Tennessee's looking for a receivers coach. Ben, you work at VolQuest.com.
Mm-hmm.
Who is it? You got all the goodies. You got all the nuggets. Who is it going to be, man?
Well, if it were up to the good people, it'll be Trooper Taylor. Everybody has set their sights on Trooper Taylor, and man, I hope it happens, because if not, there's going to be a lot of people disappointed. And I think Josh Hypo may unfairly catch some strays if he were to bring in somebody that people aren't as familiar with, because they have just completely set their sights on Trooper Taylor. And nothing wrong with that, but does Josh Hypo have any ties to Trooper Taylor?
Yeah.
Legitimate ties of working with him in the past?
No, there's coaches on his staff that have worked with Trooper and no Trooper.
I would imagine Rodney Garner.
I don't know if Rodney was at Auburn at the same time. I think Rodney was at Georgia when Trooper was at Auburn.
Gotcha.
But there's other coaches on the staff that know Troop, and Troop knows them, and I think Josh Hypo has been he's been made aware of what type of coach Trooper Taylor is, if he did not know already. So that's gonna come down to Josh Hypo. Obviously, he's a head coach. I think when you look at what this receiver room needs, it is a teacher of the position. This is something that we had discussed for a couple of weeks now. Yeah, this is when we had the guy in the text box that thought that I was like revealing secrets to recruit against us, when I was saying that Tennessee, their next step is to be an NFL factory, because players, that's what they care about. I read an excerpt from SI yesterday where players being recruited by Ole Miss, and the recruit's family, or it was his words, but they were like, we don't really care about being helpful in the trajectory of your program. We don't care about your school colors. We don't care about your buildings. All we care about is, are you helping us get to the league? Are you helping us get to where we want to be? They don't care about your history. I didn't care about the school's history when I first picked the school and came in. This was a business decision, and you learn and love as you go along, but people are making decisions based on what's best for them. And for Josh Hypo, for Glenn Ellerby, for Alex Golish, any position coach on the staff, you have to answer that question with, how are you helping your players get to the league? If you're not doing it, other schools will kill you over it in recruiting. When you win and you put guys in the league, there's only one thing another school can say about you that's bad. And that is, well, you might not play over there. You might not play. What about playing time? We got more playing time. I mean, it's a negative recruiting handbook. If they got this going on about them, use this. Playing time. If they got playing time going on for them, but they're not winning, talk to them about not winning. It's always negative recruiting going on. Always. And so if you're Tennessee, you want to minimize that as much as possible. Not give other schools a reason to negative recruit you. And the way you do that is to win, have a positive culture, have a great NIL, put dudes in the league. That's it. And we're working on those things. We're not there yet. We're working on those things. We're one step closer this year than we were last year, and one step closer this month than we was last month. But you continue to work on those things. But going back to wide receivers, the reason why Trooper is being talked about so much is during the program yesterday, Austin Price of AllQuest.com called in and brought up Trooper, and he feels like he's the best fit. I feel like he's the best fit as well. When I look at this wide receiver group and some of the young players on this squad, remember the young players were starting at one point early in the season, and then they were kind of taken out of the game. Their reps were decreased, and we never really saw from them again. They are the most important pieces right now in this wide receiver room, because you can't just go replace 3 dudes in the transfer portal. You gotta have those core young receivers to take it up another notch. You have to. I don't care about Brew McCoy or whoever that Tennessee possibly can get at wide receiver. You gotta have your nucleus taking steps forward. And you got production at wide receiver from your older players, but there was a significant gap between older players who mature. Velus Jones knew what he wanted. He's been around the block 3 or 4 times. He's been coached by different receivers. Velus was going to ball out regardless of who the coach was going to be. Mm-hmm. Cedric Tillman balled out last year. You give credit to the system. You give credit to Burns, whatever. But the fact is there was a significant gap with the development of young players and the old players. And one of those old players is gone. 2 of those old players are gone. And one of those old players is back. And now you better find somebody on the other side and it's slot with some depth that can make some plays in big-time moments. And you need somebody that can push their game to the next level. And I saw it happen. With my own 2 eyes, I saw what Trooper Taylor did with Robert Meacham. Physically talented, but he had not reached his potential. Meacham had 2 or 3 touchdown drops the year before in 05 season. Had to get LASIK eye surgery. Great athlete, couldn't stop. Fast. Team used to have races. Wade and Demetrius Morley and Meacham and all them boys used to have races. I used to watch. I didn't participate. I knew it wasn't going to win. But they used to have races. Meacham at 225 was always at the front. Dudes are free, but he couldn't stop. He couldn't start. And Troop took us from potential, talented, to one of the best groups in the country. And it started first day in the meeting rooms with expectations and telling each and one of us, this is what I'm going to expect of you. I know you want to get to the league. See, some coaches nervous about talking about the NFL. Don't talk about the NFL because we want them focused on what we're doing, on Tennessee, on the schoolwork. No, you use the NFL to motivate the players to be great in their studies, to be great on and off the court. You use the NFL. You talk about it. We didn't talk about the NFL for 3 years. The coach I had before Trooper. But every day we talked about the league. He would ask us, "Hey man, you think the NFL okay with guys skipping class? You don't think that translates to the field?" Like now it's a big NIL deal. Man, Trooper was talking about that in 2006. He's like, guys, your brand is everything. How you handle yourself. You want Tennessee to be able to put you on the billboard. When you drive into campus and you see the billboard right there at the start of the strip, Cumberland Avenue, there's usually a billboard promoting tickets. We want to put you up there. What are you doing each and every day to put yourself in a position to be branded that way? He was already talking about that stuff. We talked NFL. What are you doing? What are you putting in your body? How many balls are you catching? What kind of leader are you? Who you hanging around? The league is going to know everything that you do. That's what this group needs, man. And he will kick you in your butt. He will hold you accountable. And I saw Meacham go from on his way to not reaching his potential. I'm not going to say bust potential because I ain't going to say that. But, like, I saw what Trooper did to Meach. And Meach trusts Troop. To this day, he still talk. Troop is like uncle to Meacham. Troop and Meacham was closer together than I was. Closer to Troop. We had a different relationship. A great relationship, but it was different than Trooper and Meach's. But I saw what Troop did to Meach. And honestly, Meach owed Troop 3% of his contract. Because if it wasn't for Troop, Meach wouldn't have got the draft in the first round. No way. But I saw it with my own two eyes. That was a long time ago. You want energy. You want a guy that can recruit his butt off. He can go to Camden, New Jersey. He can go to Austin, Texas. He can go to Compton. He can sit on the porch with Ice Cube and Boys in the Hood and recruit somebody. He can go to Atlanta. He can go to Miami, New York. It don't matter. It don't matter. And Troop, early in his career, he rubbed some other coaches the wrong way because he's high energy. He's gonna take some attention, but Troop has mellowed out a lot since then. Like one of the funniest things ever, I was talking to some of my former teammates, Ben, and like watching the 2010 national championship between Auburn and Oregon. You know who led Auburn out on the field?
Probably Trooper.
It was Trooper. I was like, where's Aubie? Where's Gene Chizik? Trooper was the lead Auburn out with the towel, man. National championship game. It's hilarious. And some coaches, they're envious. They don't like that. But Trooper has toned it down. He's toned it down. But I'm telling you what this group needs. He got experience. He's coached multiple first-rounders. Remember, he had Des Bryant when he went out to Oklahoma State. Robert Meacham when he was here at Tennessee. He's coached when he was at his time at Tulane when J.P. Losman was a quarterback, big arm quarterback that was drafted, I think, in the second round by the Buffalo Bills. Had a couple receivers from that Tulane group that went to the league. He also coached running back, so he has an understanding of offense. When he was at New Mexico, he was the running backs coach in '98. Guess who he coached at New Mexico? The current the current receiver coach at Alabama. The current receiver coach at Alabama, who's putting everybody in the league. But Trooper coached him at New Mexico and Holloman Wiggins. Will I be disappointed if they don't hire Troop? Absolutely. I'll be disappointed. Very disappointed. But I don't know how much of a freak out reaction I'm going to have. I'm not going to sit here and be like, man, Hypo know what he's doing if he doesn't hire, my first choice or some people's first choice out there. That's the difference between me and you and maybe some of the other folks out there. We've been through this a time or two. Coaching hires been a time or 10, and we have had our number 1, number 2 hit list, and then those guys were not hired, I didn't get mad and question leadership and all that like some folks did when we hired Hypo and didn't hire Hugh Freeze or Lane Kiffin. I just said, okay, I'd rather have Trooper, and if we don't get him, I'll give this guy a chance, and we'll see what happens. But I got a pretty good pulse of what this group needs. Pretty good pulse. Pretty good pulse. There's not a better time and a more perfect fit at the stage of Trooper's career and where we are at Tennessee. There's not a more perfect time than Trooper Taylor to be the receiver coach here. Even more perfect than when he was here between 04 and 07. It's even more perfect now than then. And he did a good job when he was here the first time. He coached running backs, pushed Gerald Riggs and Cedric Houston to 1,000-yard seasons each. First time it's ever happened in Tennessee football history. Trooper Taylor was coaching them. And Trooper barely coached running backs during his time. Remember I told you in 98 he was a running backs coach at New Mexico. A lot of times those running backs were listening to Jay Graham. Jay Graham served as a quality control coach at that time. That's what Jay got started in his career. But you had Trooper, you had Jay Graham, and those 2 running backs, 1,000 yards apiece there in 2004. But it's the accountability, it's the trust factor, it's the transparency, it's the energy, it is the intensity, it's the fundamentals and details. You're going to get that with Trooper Taylor at wide receiver. That's why this group needs Troop. And if anybody's out there just like Troop and just has a different name, then that's cool, hire them. But everything that Troop's bringing to the table, Tennessee needs a receiver coach that brings exactly that. I think it'd be easy just to hire him. But if there's someone out there that's just like Trooper and he has a different name, you don't have to hire Trooper. Just hire that dude. But you got to have the experience. You got to have the reputation. If we're going to go out here and expect 2 receivers to catch 70 balls a season, man, we got to be a factory. And we can't depend on every receiver coming in to be Cedric Tillman. Well, look what we did, Cedric Tillman. Yeah, but everybody ain't like Cedric Tillman. A lot of that stuff was Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman. You want some dudes that you can go out there and recruit, like a Robert Meacham, and say, here's a few things we're going to teach you. Everything else, it's what God gave you. There's no reason why Tennessee should not be recruiting the absolute studs out of each year's wide receiver crop. Like Carnell Tate, we shouldn't be chasing Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate should be chasing Tennessee. 2 guys, 70 balls, man. Ben, 2 receivers, 70 passes.
Big time numbers.
Like we should be locking our doors and only taking appointments and reservations from top receivers in the high school. That's the vision. And you can do that with Josh Hypo going out and getting the best quarterback each and every year. Number one thing a receiver wants is to play with a quarterback that can get him the ball. I remember when Peerless Price went from Buffalo to Atlanta, signed a huge deal. Huge deal. I think J.P. Losman threw the ball to Peerless up there at Buffalo. But I remember when Peerless signed with Atlanta, got the bag. Well, Michael Vick wasn't ready to be a quarterback. He wasn't ready. And Peerless was over here getting blamed. But outside the money and maybe the city, I'm sure Peerless was like, yo, I'm trying to catch balls. I've been catching balls from Peyton Manning and then in Buffalo. The number one thing a receiver wants to be around is a quarterback that can get him the ball. And Tennessee should be one of those places because of Josh Hypo.
Yes.
But the missing piece is the receiver coach. We got a chance to get it right.
Get it right. One just left for the NFL.
You heard what I said? I ain't stutter.
But as your testimony speaks to, and as the message boards and the Twitter boards, everybody has their sights on Trooper Taylor. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. Trooper would be an awesome hire, a terrific hire. I just hope everybody is not setting themselves up for disappointment if Josh Hypo does not go that direction.
Correct.
And because there will be a freak out because everybody has bought into the Trooper Taylor idea because that's what we know. We know Trooper Taylor. Josh Hypo don't know Trooper Taylor the way that we do. So I worry about a possible freak out if he does not go the Trooper Taylor route.
It's okay to be disappointed. I'm going to be disappointed if they don't hire Trooper. But you just mentioned the F word, and you said freak out. That's where the line is drawn right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a line between disappointed and then freak out. I'm not going to freak out. I'll be disappointed, and that's okay to be disappointed. It's fine. Life is filled with disappointments. You're going to be disappointed. It's what you do when you are disappointed that matters. Like, I'm not about to get on the message boards. I'm not going to get on Twitter. I'm not going to freak out, get on here and be like, oh, we messed it up even before the coaches a spring practice. Like, I'm not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a line I hope people stop at and go, all right, yeah, I'm disappointed, but all right, let's see what this dude going to do. Do that before you start freaking out.
Right.
Because haven't we learned a lesson about that stuff?
Right.
Oh, my gosh, Mike DeBoer, where'd you get this dude from, man? He's a pool manager at Michigan. He ain't coached offense since 1997 in Michigan. He had Tom Brady and had all these takes. And then he went out here and was crushing folks offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Did a great job as an offense coordinator. But no one stops, man. This is the day and age we live in right now. There's no accountability for being wrong.
Nope.
Because, and I'll take the Auburn Brian Harsin situation for an example. 2-3 weeks ago, everybody was on, man, Brian Harsin with this chick, Brian Harsin and this chick. Oh, man, look at that. I know, yeah, you can say whatever you can say about it, but, man, you can't say he can't develop. Look at what she looked like at Boise State. Now, look at it, man, Brian. Like, everybody was on that. And then it was proven to be wrong, and, like, everybody just went on about their own business. Like, nobody was held accountable. Nobody said sorry. Like, it doesn't matter if the information is right or wrong. Folks just, like, congregate and have their pitchforks out and have their, lights, lanterns out there and like, yeah. And then when it's proven wrong, like, no one stops and go, okay, guys, we were wrong. Like, no one is really held accountable anymore. Like, it's so weird to me. And so people don't care about spouting off things that they're not 100% sure if it's true or not. Like, no. Be more confident about the accuracy of the report or the things that you're saying before saying it. And it bleeds over to politics. And, like, no one takes accountability for being wrong because everyone is so ADHD. Like, we rush to judgment, ready to cancel somebody, ready to cancel something, find out that there's no reason to do it, and then we're like, oh, all right, let's on to the next outrage. And you're on this roller coaster. And then you wonder why it's 8 o'clock p.m. and you've been on social media all day and you feel exhausted because you've taken yourself on this emotional roller coaster of jumping from this crisis to the next crisis to this outrage to the next outrage over nothing. And this is why, times I have to take a time out from social media. But back to your point, Ben. I didn't mean to go old Inky Johnson on folks this morning, but there's a difference between being disappointed, crossing that line, and being like outraged and freak out mode and oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? Like, relax, chill out.
Yes, and the reason I'm pumping the brakes is not because I dislike Trooper Taylor. I think he would be a great hire, but it rarely ever works out to where the team that we love hires the person that we want most. I mean, the only times I can think of off the top of my head where it's worked out for Tennessee in that way, where Tennessee actually hired the person that Tennessee fans wanted was T. Martin and Jim Chaney. I mean, those are the only two off the top of my head that I can think of where it's worked out, where Tennessee has hired who Tennessee fans initially set off the bat. Where when Tennessee needed a receivers coach, Tennessee fans said, go get T. Martin, bring T home. And they went and brought him home. Or when Tennessee needed an OC and Jim Chaney was right there for the taking and said, go get Jim Chaney. And it worked out. Those are really the only two examples. It way more often than not, it's never who we want to be hired that is actually hired. So that's why I'm somewhat pumping the brakes. Not because I dislike Trooper Taylor, but just because it typically doesn't work out that way. And we'll see if it works out here. Swain has discussed that there is mutual friends, so to speak. If you look at it on Facebook, you see the mutual friends. There's mutual friends in this instance with Trooper Taylor, so maybe it will work out, and that'll be terrific.
Yeah.
But I encourage everyone just not to 1,000% set their sights on Trooper Taylor, because Josh Hypo may not want to go get Trooper Taylor. He may know of somebody else who he feels can do just as good of a job, and we'll go get that coach. We just don't know.
Yeah, and what you need, and the reason why Austin brought Trooper Taylor, and that's the reason why I'm like on that Trooper Taylor train as well, because Austin knows what Tennessee needs. Mm-hmm. Because he covers this team, he covers recruiting, and he knows what. No one has a better pulse in recruiting than Austin Price. It's just facts. Okay. He mentioned Trooper because he knows the impact he will have in recruiting. And to Vol in detail, I'm not just saying he's the best coach in the world because he coached me, because I had a receiver coach for 3 years and Trooper only for 1 year. I didn't mention anything about the coach I had for 3 years. So it ain't just the fact that he coached me. I'm just giving you some insight in what I feel like this group needs, what our program needs, and what coach can do that. I said that if there's another dude out there that's not named Trooper Taylor and he brings everything to the table that Trooper Taylor can bring, hire him. But I'm just telling you what we need. So it's not about the fact that he coached me for 1 year, because I didn't mention anything about the other receiver coach, who I personally like, but it just wasn't a fit at the time. And I think right now, when you talk about what Tennessee can do in the NIL world, when you talk about a receiver group that needs a shot in the arm from someone that has experience that you're going to run through a brick wall for, there's only a few dudes out here that I can think of. Now, I think Coach Azzani would be awesome. But Coach Azzani ain't coming back to college unless he's going to be a head coach. There's no reason for him to do that. But I think Zach Azzani would be amazing as well. But it's not realistic. So I'm not going to even mention Zach Azzani. You know, folks are throwing out T. Martin. Yo, that don't need to happen. So it's about fits, and at this time, Trooper Taylor or someone just like Trooper Taylor, it would be the perfect fit for what Tennessee receivers need. And this Jason Witten stuff, y'all fell for a fake account, I think.
It's the same fake Twitter account that continues to get everybody and has continued to get everybody for years.
like one of my teammates got tricked. I had to text him, like, "Hey man, that's a fake account." Oh, yeah, they got me. Yeah, they got me. But it ain't about me, man. If y'all listen to the show long enough, you know that it ain't about me. It's about what I think is best for the squad. And again, someone like Trooper, there's someone out there just like him, cool, hire them. But chances are they are they are somewhere, the best receiver coaches are somewhere right now making a lot of money and winning. So if you can go out there and get someone that's just like Troop, that brings us that level of recruiting to the table, the level of execution from their position, accountability, energy, then go for it. That's all I care about. I just know of a guy that checks all those boxes. And unprovoked, Austin Price called in and said the same thing. When he heard about the news before us. So it's the reason why he mentioned him, because he knows that's what we need. And I agree with him. All right, we'll take our first break of the day. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Woo-hoo-hoo! Tennessee basketball tonight. We got some baseball. Get some midweek baseball. Tennessee hitting some attendance records. Man, the pitching looks good, Ben. I want to ask you, Ben, right now, I'll let you give us your answer before the break. Do you think the pitching this year will be better than last year's baseball team? Will the pitching this year be better than last year's team? Chew on that, and then, man, I want to get your answer when we come back from my first break. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
If you want to be part of the show, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503.
Hello?
Don't miss Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union's President's Day special. Take advantage of these incredible rates. We're offering auto, recreational, and refinancing loans as low as 1.90% APR. This amazing rate is only available from February 14th through the 25th. You don't want to miss this limited time offer because after the 25th, rates will go back up. Apply in branch or online at atfcu.com. Get this rate before it's gone and celebrate President's Day with incredible savings. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is here to help bring your dreams within reach. So, if you're looking for financing for a new vehicle or looking to finance a home improvement project, ATFCU is here with a variety of affordable loan options that bring your dreams to life. Don't miss this opportunity. Sign up during our President's Day special and get a loan for as low as 1.90% APR. Take advantage of these incredible rates. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is the clear choice. Your less red tape banking alternative. An equal housing lender. Annual percentage rate. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to credit approval. The rate you qualify for is determined by your creditworthiness.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. The new year is here and it's the 2022 East Tennessee real estate season. As I always do, I'm going to shoot straight with you. If you have a home to sell, then you need to give me a call ASAP. Inventory is low, and I will get you the most money possible and more than you think trying to sell it on your own. If you are a seller that also needs to buy a home, you need to call me ASAP, as there are ways I can help you manage that situation and stay in your home until we find what you want. If you are looking to buy, you need to call me ASAP. You absolutely need someone on your side to help navigate the current waters, and you need someone that's going to do their homework and find homes that aren't on the market yet. Bottom line, you need to call me today ASAP. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897. If you are buying, selling, or considering investing in real estate this year, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols!
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suit your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, subscribe to the Swain Event channel on YouTube.
Putting our guy Ben McKee on the spot here in hour number 1, powered by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Ben McKee is your go-to for all things Tennessee baseball. It's not even close. Ben has played the game. He's been covering Tennessee baseball closely before they blew up. Ben has relationships with folks, with the right people, loves this game. One thing to cover a team, or cover a sport, and you kind of don't even like the sport. Ben, loves the sport. No one outworks Ben when it comes to baseball coverage, period. So Ben, pitching. I know it's early in the season. We've only played one series of 3-0. Outscored Georgia Southern 33-3. Young pitchers, a lot of new faces, man. Transfer in, some young pitchers. Is it too early for you to tell if the pitching this year for Tennessee baseball is better than last year's pitching?
A little bit. I think the safest thing to say right now is that it has more potential. It has the potential to be better than last year's pitching. But there's some big names that the staff has to replace with Sean Hunley and what he was able to do out of the bullpen, who fills his role, and I think there are certainly names that can do so. Camden Sewell, I think, is going to have a terrific season and be Tennessee's top man out of the bullpen this year. I think he's going to be this year's Sean Hunley. And honestly, I think Camden has better natural stuff than Sean Hunley did. He has a slider that is absolutely filthy. And I just think he's going to have a great year. And Seth Halverson, once he gets back around mid-April, I think he's going to be a key piece out of the bullpen. Ben Joyce, right now, I think he's going to be one of the most exciting pitchers in the SEC coming out of the bullpen with his 100 to 101 mile an hour fastball. He's going to be real efficient, I think.
Hold on. Let me tell you what that is. That's straight gas.
That's right. There you go. Yeah, straight gas out of the bullpen from Ben Joyce. So he'll be a key piece. And then even, the guy's coming back. Kirby Connell, he's even better. And the staff has raved about how much better he has gotten and just how much they trust him. Same with Redmond Walsh. He's going to be exactly what he has been the last couple of years. And he's 7 saves away from breaking Todd Helton's all-time save record at Tennessee. Now, part of that is because he's been here so long, kind of like John Fulkerson, breaking the SEC career record for games played. But the bullpen, I think, has the potential to be better if all those pieces come together. And there's even other names that I did not mention that should play key roles. Will Mabry, you saw him get some big outs this weekend. Jake Fitzgibbons, a youngster that Vitello really likes. So I think the bullpen certainly has the potential. And then the starting rotation 1,000% has the potential. We talked about it last week. Burns, Tidwell, Dolander, all 3 of those guys starting. And, those are 3 future first-round picks. And Chad Dallas, big name to replace off of last year. Will Heflin did really good things for Tennessee, and Tennessee has to replace him as well. But these cats that are in the rotation this year, they just simply have better stuff. Nothing against Dallas or Heflin. It's just these guys are another level. And Dolander and Burns and Tidwell should have really big seasons. So it's a little early to definitively say that they're going to be better because they are guys who have not proven themselves just yet. But I think that they will prove to be a better pitching staff, and they certainly have the potential. I am willing to say that. And real quick before we move on, to answer Vol fans' question on the text box, she asked me who is pitching tonight. That'll be Hollis Fanning, a younger guy. He'll get the starting nod on the bump and probably pitch 3 or so innings. They play Tennessee Tech tonight. They play UNC Asheville tomorrow, both games at 4:30. And Hollis Fanning is technically starting today, but I think you'll see several pitchers pitch an inning, 2, 3, 4 innings over the next 2 days. It won't necessarily be one guy. It just kind of be getting a lot of arms in there who maybe didn't pitch over the weekend, or even guys who did pitch over the weekend, getting them some more reps. One guy that I did not mention who I think will factor in this year is Drew Beam, who started on Sunday, and I think he'll just start in the meantime until Blade Tidwell comes back. But even when Blade comes back, I think he'll have a role out of the bullpen. He's too effective not to, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some innings today or tomorrow after only pitching 3 innings on Sunday. So I like where Tennessee's at from a pitching standpoint for sure.
Yep, and Beam understands his role, man. He understands why he got the start on Sunday, and talking to him on the locker room, he's more than comfortable being in that role, and understands that he's just a freshman and it's a process. Very, very mature. Very mature.
Yep.
Very mature.
So, I know somebody that has known Mr. Beam for a very long time and worked with him and has only ever said good things about him. Comes from a good family, and as you just mentioned, very mature, good kid.
Good kid.
Good kid.
He really is, man. Really is. So I just had to ask you that question.
It'll be a boring week this week. I'll tell you that. Now, Tennessee Tech, looking at them, I just pulled up their schedule a moment ago. They are 3-0 and beat a South Alabama team on Sunday 11-7 as part of the South Alabama Invitational. Whew, I can only imagine that bus ride.
So it was their invitational?
Yes.
And they got beat?
Yes.
And they got swept?
Well, they played 3 different teams on 3 different days. Tennessee Tech did. So I guess several teams made their way to Mobile. They beat Oral Roberts on Friday 5-2. They beat Radford on Saturday 10-5, and then they beat South Alabama 11-7 Sunday. But I can only imagine that bus ride from Cookeville to Mobile. Like I made the drive.
They took a bus?
Oh yeah.
You can't take no bus, man.
At Tennessee, I can assure you, Tennessee Tech took a bus from Cookeville. I would be stunned if they didn't.
Don't have any Skyline miles or anything?
Probably not. Probably not. And look, I made the regular drive in a car a couple of weeks ago for a wedding from Huntsville to Mobile, and that was not fun, especially once you get to Montgomery, because 3 hours from Montgomery to Southwest Alabama, Dauphin Island and Mobile and Fairhope and that area, it is a miserable drive.
That's because you're a good friend. That's why you did that.
That is true, but that was just me in a regular car. Imagine going from Cookeville instead of Huntsville, and you're in a bus. And they probably did it after Sunday's game. Just like Georgia Southern, they got beat down 14-0 on Sunday, and the game finished about 4 o'clock. They go over to Thompson-Boling. They hit the showers in Thompson-Boling real quick, and then they're on a 6-hour bus ride back to Statesboro, Georgia. And not only is it a 6-hour bus ride after you just got your tails kicked, you got swept on the weekend, but also you're driving through Chattanooga and Atlanta on a Sunday afternoon on a bus.
Ugh.
Welcome to college baseball. But it's going to be a pretty boring week for the Vols, if I do say so myself. Tennessee Tech actually surprising that they're 3-0, and South Alabama's a team that has made the tournament in recent years, so that's actually an impressive win. So maybe Tennessee Tech puts up a little bit more of a challenge this afternoon at 4:30 than I expected. And then UNC Asheville, who Tennessee plays tomorrow afternoon. Let's see what they did over the weekend. They went 0-3. They got swept by Virginia Tech over the weekend. And then this weekend, Iona is the real sleeper. I mean, Iona did absolutely nothing over the weekend. They were absolutely embarrassed by Old Dominion. They lost 2-4 on Friday, and then Swain. Old Dominion beat Iona 24-0.
Goodness gracious!
On Saturday, and then 19-1 on Sunday. 24-0 on Saturday, 19-1 on Sunday.
Time to cancel the baseball program at Iona.
Yeah, I think so. So between UNC Asheville tomorrow and the Iona series this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, going to be a pretty boring week of baseball for Tennessee. But it'd be good to get some guys some reps and some guys who have new roles and are finally playing for the first time in their career. Good to get them some reps. And the excitement will ramp back up next week, because next Friday, the Vols will be in Houston at Minute Maid Park taking on number 1 Texas. And then they'll play Baylor on Saturday and Oklahoma on Sunday. So it'll ramp up pretty quick. And then even before next weekend, ETSU comes to town next Tuesday before the weekend. And those Tennessee ETSU series, there's always some fireworks there. As Tony Vitello says, you know, there are a bunch of guys in those ETSU jerseys that just wish they were wearing our jersey.
Let's go, Tony Vitello. Let me see your best Juwan Howard impersonation. Let's say that for Arkansas. We don't play Arkansas in the regular season, but dang.
Speaking of which, Juwan Howard suspended the rest of the regular season. I thought very fair. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. Only a couple games left. It was kind of like doing a self-imposement like what Auburn did last year.
Mm-hmm.
LSU did it. The season's over. You guys are not going to go to the tournament. You might as well just suspend him now. Get it over with. He's lucky and fortunate, I think, to keep his job. I don't know how hard it is to know the difference between a slap and a punch. Like I saw some article that said swipe. Nah, man.
He punched.
He opened his hand.
It's funny. It
was an open hand slap.
He started like with a punch, and then as his hand got closer, like it
His
hand started to open up and become a slap because he realized, oh wait, I should not be doing this. Halfway through, he realized he should not be doing what he was doing.
It landed as a slap.
Yes, started as a punch, landed as a slap.
Yeah, it was a slap,
which was pretty funny. And like he brought it all on himself. I know he was mad at the timeout that the Wisconsin coach called, but he called a timeout because he had all his walk-ons in, and you were pressing. You're doing full court press. And the Wisconsin coach, like I get it. You still don't have to call timeout to adjust to the full court pressure. But I feel like coaches have the mindset of, okay, if the other team is going to keep playing despite being down 20, 30 points, then we're going to keep playing. So
they were down 14.
He didn't need to call the timeout to fix the press with that little much time left in the game. But like Juwan Howard, you still sparked it by pressing with so few time left.
Well, the surprising thing is that the Wisconsin coach did not get at least a 1-game suspension.
I was surprised by that.
I mean, Juwan went to 10 because you put your hands on him first. So Juwan got 5 games. Surprised that the coach of Wisconsin did not get at least 1. But Juwan should be feel lucky that he is keeping his job.
Yes.
Because we live in a day and age where we can't even poop without getting canceled, without getting fired. Like I saw where Jimmy Dykes was like, the handshake line is not the problem here.
Correct.
It's not the problem. So just because that happened in the handshake line doesn't mean we need to get rid of the handshake line now.
I'm sure there are people like Dan Wolken trying to get rid of the handshake line, which is the softest thing I've ever heard.
No, you just
act better in the handshake line.
Yeah, you just punish the folks that did not act appropriately, then you move forward. But the handshake line is not the problem here. It's not the problem. I'm glad we don't have to do that in football. Handshake line.
Like in high school?
Yeah, man. Lining up at the 50. I don't want to shake your hand. I'm mad.
Swain was first one back in the locker room.
I don't want to talk to anybody. Leave me alone. Talk to the guys I know. That's it. I ain't trying to shake nobody's hand after the game. Hour 2 coming up.
In this day and age, the way we work is changing and evolving. Businesses still moving forward despite your work location changing and supply shortages affecting a number of different areas. Office furniture is not immune to the halt in the supply chain. This is why Office Furniture Outfitters has purchased desks, chairs, and tables in bulk to provide you with in-stock options for your place of business, no matter if it's in an office building or at your house. Office Furniture Outfitters is the local supplier for Herman Miller, and they keep Aeron chairs in stock. They will come to your office, lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area, or online at ofonox.com, or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
Don't miss Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union's President's Day special. Take advantage of these incredible rates. We're offering auto, recreational, and refinancing loans as low as 1.90% APR. This amazing rate is only available from February 14th through the 25th. You don't want to miss this limited time offer because after the 25th, rates will go back up. Apply in branch or online at atfcu.com. Get this rate before it's gone and celebrate President's Day with incredible savings. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is here to help bring your dreams within reach. So, if you're looking for financing for a new vehicle or looking to finance a home improvement project, ATFCU is here with a variety of affordable loan options that bring your dreams to life. Don't miss this opportunity. Sign up during our President's Day special and get a loan for as low as 1.90% APR. Take advantage of these incredible rates. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is the clear choice. Your less red tape banking alternative. An equal housing lender. Annual percentage rate. Terms and conditions apply. Subject to credit approval. The rate you qualify for is determined by your creditworthiness.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain Event.
Hey there, Swain Event fam. I've been thinking about other ways I can assist you with the real estate world. As you know, it's not just about buying, selling, and investing in new property today. It's also being a resource when you need a contractor or roofer. Or maybe you need a real estate attorney to assist with probate questions. Or maybe you have a family member in Alabama that needs a realtor to help them sell their home and get the heck out of there and back to Tennessee. All of these things and more are in my wheelhouse. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Vegas is ready for Tennessee, Missouri. The over-under is at 130.5. 130.5. Tennessee is favorite tonight by 10.5 points. On the road, 7 p.m. game. Council might be coaching for his job. Touchdown turnover. Tennessee will cover the 10.5, and the total points will be under 130.5 tonight. Use the promo code Swain Event, their Action 247, for 100% match on your first deposit. But today's touchdown turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong, better rates and better service. Ben, will Tennessee cover 10.5 points and the total points be under 130.5? What you got?
I say touchdown. Missouri's just bad. They are a bad basketball team. A real bad basketball team. Ken Palm projects a 71-60 win for the Vols and gives Missouri a 16% chance of winning. So 84% chance Tennessee wins, according to Ken Palm. Their offense is 12th in efficiency in the SEC, 13th in efficiency in defense. They don't shoot the ball well. The one thing they do well is shoot free throws. That's about it. And when they do make shots, it's usually off an assist. But aside from that, they turn the ball over. They haven't rebounded the ball well offensively in conference play. They are terrible shooting the three-pointer. They don't block shots. They don't do anything. They don't turn teams over. Teams get offensive rebounds against them. Teams shoot well against them. They just are not good. So I do think Tennessee covers. I mean, I think this should be a 15-point win or so. And, I mean, I think Missouri will struggle enough to where the under should hit. But I don't know. I kind of think Tennessee's offense puts up a lot of points and may threaten the over-under. What'd you say it was, 133?
130.5.
So what's that got to be? Like a 70 to 60 type of game?
Yeah, 60, 65. Each team would 65 would be 130. So.
I'll say the over hits, but I think it's going to be because Tennessee puts up a lot of points tonight.
That'd be the only way, right?
Yes.
If they score over 75, we got a chance.
Yes.
We got a chance for the over.
But I think I think it's going to be like a 75-80 to 55-60 type of win for Tennessee. Like I think they win 15 to 20 points, and I think that they should put up quite a bit of points.
And that crowd in Missouri will not be anywhere close to was like it was against Arkansas Saturday. I mean, they filling like half of the arena, if that.
If that.
Yeah, if that.
And this is also their third game in 5 days and like fourth game in 8 days. They had a weird weekend of playing Mississippi State on Friday night in Starkville and then playing back in Missouri against Mississippi State on Sunday. We talked about that yesterday, and the reason being is because they had a game earlier in the year postponed due to COVID, and they somehow decided that it would just be best to knock out two games essentially in the same weekend. So I don't expect them to have fresh legs. And the last time that Tennessee experienced something like this, it was the Ole Miss game a while back, and Tennessee.
Ole Miss came out busting though.
Yes, but Tennessee eventually took that game over and won pretty handedly.
The one guy that Tennessee needs to make sure does not get going is someone that's had 5, 6 20-point games so far this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 20-point games and a 30-point game. This is when they beat Alabama, when Alabama was the 15th rated team in the country. But Mizzou hosted Alabama, and Kobe Brown, not Cody, but Kobe Brown is their guy.
Huntsville guy.
He's a Huntsville guy, 6'8", junior. I like Josiah Jordan-James with our small lineup guarding him. But if he gets going, he gives Missouri their best chance to win. He is their Josiah Jordan-James. He is their glue guy that does everything. He rebounds the ball. He blocks shots. He's a good passer. He handles the rock. I mean, he is their version of Josiah Jordan-James, essentially. And so making sure that he doesn't have a career night, I think will give us that over. I think that will give us that cover for Tennessee at 10.5 points. I'm going to go turnover, though.
To which one?
I'm going to go under on the total at 130.5. But I think Tennessee covers at 10.5, man. Mizzou is
bad.
Ugh.
Bad. The only thing that worries me about this game is the fact that it is sandwiched in between last week's games of Kentucky and Arkansas, which Tennessee beat number 4 Kentucky, lost to number 23 Arkansas on the road, and somehow fell a spot in the AP poll. But
I thought they would stay the same.
I thought they would move up at least a spot or two.
Yeah.
And they did move up in the rankings that matter. In the net rankings in KenPom, they're around 10 to 12. And again, I've always said the AP poll is just absolute trash. These writers do not follow the sport the way that that people think that they do. But that's another tangent that I've gone on before and won't go on today to save the good people, prevent the ears from bleeding this morning. But just Tennessee in this game being sandwiched in between last week, Kentucky, Arkansas, and then this upcoming Saturday's game against Auburn. That's my only concern is Tennessee looking ahead and maybe the intensity not being what it should be, and them kind of thinking we can take a deep breath. We don't have Kentucky or Arkansas. We got Auburn Saturday. We can tonight's going to be a breeze. That's my only concern. And I asked Rick about that yesterday, and he looked at me and said, well, that's not the team that we've been this year. And,
nope.
And Tennessee has not lost back-to-back games. And he also added in, we lost to them last year, so how could we not respect them?
Yeah, Pinson put on a show.
Mm-hmm. So that's my only concern. Just this is a bona fide trap game. Trap game is thrown around more than it should be, but this is a legitimate trap game. The big games that have surrounded it, Columbia, Missouri, having to fly into Columbia and just being in Columbia, and there's going to be nobody at the game. This team is absolute cheeks. I mean, it's just it's got the making of just a boring game, quite frankly. But if Tennessee shows up and plays the way that it should and is capable of, I mean, it won't even be close. It'll be a 15, 20-point win for Tennessee.
Yeah, if Tennessee puts in that work, it won't be boring to me. Because watching Zakai Ziegler and Kennedy Chandler and Vescovy feed off each other, that's fun, man. That is fun. Missouri don't need to have a pulse. I don't care. I'm going to have a good time watching Tennessee put in that work. If they have the same ball movement, they're making shots, and they're playing great defense, being tenacious, man, that's what I'm here for.
And you know Konzo's going to want to whoop Tennessee. So I guess that's another thing I would worry about. This is Konzo's Super Bowl. Tennessee's Super Bowl is Kentucky. Yeah. This is Konzo's Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. Well, at least it shouldn't. 865-255-03. It should not happen.
Should.
Auburn beat Mizzou by 1 point. Yeah, Auburn may have, downplayed Missouri a little bit. Yeah, that's what happened. Auburn got in the mud. No, Auburn got in the mud with Missouri. And Missouri, they're not good offensively, but Auburn got in the mud with them. Auburn won that game 55-54. Like, they scored 50 points, Ben. 31 points at halftime. The score was 31-31 at halftime. That's a game that Mizzou wants to play. That's a game that Mizzou wants to play with Tennessee, is to bring the level of competition down to them. So Tennessee can't let that happen. Can't let that happen. Can't let Mizzou bring you down in the mud. Auburn didn't shoot the ball well. Shot 30% from the field, 21% from three. Can't let Mizzou bring you down. Mizzou had a chance, man. They had a chance to win. Some questionable clock management there for Missouri side. Questionable decision by Mizzou with the ball in their hands, with the clock winding down. Just weird. But Tennessee should take care of business, and I'm here for it. I am here for – what time is the game?
7. Thank goodness. I remembered that Tennessee was playing at Missouri this week, and
Central
I was like,
time.
oh, no. No, 7 Eastern.
Is it 7 Eastern? Okay.
No, it's 7 Eastern because my
so
thought,
Missouri is Central time, so it's 6 there, right?
Yes.
Or is Mizzou Eastern time?
No, they're Central time.
Okay. That's what I figured.
They're Central time. So I got nervous because usually those tips out west in the SEC, they're that 9 p.m. Eastern tip. I was like, Lord, no, please do not make this boring, you-know-what game 9 Eastern.
I know, man. That UCLA game last night, it was early compared to some of the other games from the Pac-12. So thank you.
And like 9 p.m. Eastern tips aren't as bad when they're road games, but still, the game's finishing at 11, and if anybody's like me, like the adrenaline is going throughout the game, and you got to come off that adrenaline after the game's over. And by that point, it's like 11:30, 11:45, 12 o'clock, and you can't go to sleep, can't fall asleep. So, thank goodness this is not a 9 p.m. Eastern tip. It clicked in my head on Sunday that, oh, wait, Tennessee goes to Missouri on Tuesday. Oh, no, is that going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern tip? And then I checked my ESPN app. I was like, yes, it's not.
Good to go.
Thank you, Lord.
Let's get to Rodney on the Iris Networks hotline. Rodney, good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Jason?
What's up, Rodney, man? Good to hear from you.
Hey, man, you know how it is. Trying to live my life in Clarksville. You know how that goes.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to see, do you know if we're going to bring back Trooper Taylor for the wide receivers coach, or maybe go back and get David Johnson?
I don't know. I think I'll bring back Trooper. I know Trooper will be phenomenal, and that's who I would pick if it was my choice. As far as David Johnson, you know, I don't know if you remember, but one of the reasons why he left is because, you know, their folks, him and his wife folks are in Louisiana, and Tallahassee is a easy drive for their folks to come and see their son. They have a son in high school, and that was one of the reasons why Tallahassee was very, very attractive to him. And you know, probably because they wanted to get off the sinking ship and all that good stuff too. But like the distance to Louisiana is very important to them. So I don't see that happening. I'll be surprised if that happens. I love David Johnson. I think he's one of the best in the business too at wide receivers.
You think it's possible that they just might, you know, stay in the coaching ranks and just shift people around, or you think they're gonna go out and get someone?
Stay in the coaching ranks? What do you mean? Like
move, you know, Coach Mack, the wide receivers coach, or anything
in-house.
like that?
So in-house.
Yeah. Is that possible?
I mean, Coach Mack could coach receivers. I mean, he's coached offense and been a coordinator. I think he's coached quarterbacks before. So, I mean, he could. But I think if you are Tennessee, whoever you bring in, you better bring in somebody that's a dang good recruiter. Like,
well,
I know there's some talk about Kelsey Pope, who's an offensive analyst, and I know the players on the team like him and the receivers like him. And but you better make sure whoever is added to the staff can recruit, period. Like, there's no exception. You better be able to recruit and not just rely on NIL. You better be able to build a relationship because that same relationship building skills, you're going to need those for your own group. So you better have a dude with a personality. You better have a guy that can recruit, and you better have a guy that can develop. And I don't care who it is. I just like Trooper Taylor because I know that's what he brings. But that's what Tennessee needs as the next wide receiver coach.
Sounds like they need to go get T. Martin.
We already did that, man. I don't think that'd be a good idea right now.
All right, then, Jason. Y'all have a good day, my friend.
You too. Yeah, I don't think that'd be a good idea right now. Not right now. A lot of mess just happened over the last 12 months. A lot of mess. It's probably time to kind of heal.
But then he can come see his statue that he hasn't seen yet.
I'm sure he's seen it.
In person.
I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure he's seen it. We may not know about it, but I'm sure he's seen it.
I'd love to see young Caden out on the baseball diamond with Tony Vitello.
Going to Miami, man.
Yeah, but he can come be at Tennessee.
We need to let it go. Let T be in the NFL. Let Caden go to Miami. Be the next A-Rod. let Tom heal. A lot of stuff went down.
But he's not the only VFL Tennessee can go get.
They could go get J.J. McCleskey.
They could go get Derek Dooley, who is available.
Stop. He no VFL, but J.J. McCleskey really, really can coach wide receivers. And
sign me up. Where can we sign on the dotted line?
Yeah, like JJ, that dude now. A lot of these.
What about Peerless Price? Let's bring it Peerless.
Yeah, I'm I'm sure Peeler's would be great. I just don't know much about him as a coach. I'm sure he'd be great if he coaches as he played. I mean, it'd be no problem. But I just know more about JJ because JJ used to train a lot of these Louisiana receivers you see in the league, like Jamar Chase and Jordan Jefferson, and a lot of them boys. JJ trained them coming up in high school with his son, Jalen McCleskey. So, JJ,
make it happen.
JJ's a stud. He is a stud. Coaches DBs, he played DBs, but like receivers, whew, he would do a great job too. JJ brings the energy, and that's what you need. Energy, accountability, ability to develop credibility, and you better be able to recruit. That's what you got to have. Hour 2 here in the Swain Event will continue after this.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
In this day and age, the way we work is changing and evolving. Businesses still moving forward despite your work location changing and supply shortages affecting a number of different areas. Office furniture is not immune to the halt in the supply chain. This is why Office Furniture Outfitters has purchased desks, chairs, and tables in bulk to provide you with in-stock options for your place of business, no matter if it's in an office building or at your house. Office Furniture Outfitters is the local supplier for Herman Miller, and they keep Aeron chairs in stock. They will come to your office, lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area, or online at ofonox.com, or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Time for Around the SEC here in the Swain Event. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. All right, Ben, what we got, man?
Diving into tonight's SEC basketball slate before we take a look at some headlines around the SEC. Tennessee, Missouri kicks off the night at 7 p.m. on the SEC Network. Swain mentioned it earlier. Tennessee 10.5-point favorites. Tennessee, Missouri, one of 3 games at 7 o'clock tonight. Number 18, Arkansas at Florida at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. Arkansas, a 1-point favorite, and Florida desperately needs this win to help their NCAA tournament case. Arkansas hasn't won in Gainesville since 1995.
That's weird. That's a weird stat.
Georgia and Texas A&M is the other 7 o'clock game. That one's on ESPNU. And then a 9 p.m. Eastern game, number 24 Alabama at Vanderbilt. Alabama's 4-point favorites.
That's pretty good.
So funny to me that I guess they're both in the same time zone. But Tennessee, Missouri, in Missouri is tipping off at 7. And then Alabama, Vandy, in Nashville is tipping off at 9.
Yeah.
They're in the same time zone, but still kind of funny to think about.
Yeah, 10 o'clock here.
Yeah.
I'll watch a little bit of it.
Well, no. It's 9 p.m. Eastern tip.
Okay. Gotcha.
So 6 for Tennessee in Missouri.
Gotcha.
8 for Vandy in Nashville.
Gotcha.
In terms of some storylines, we did actually have some news yesterday. We'll start down in Athens, Georgia, where Matt Luke, the offensive line coach, former Ole Miss head football coach, he announced that he is stepping away from coaching. And pretty simple answer he gave as to why. Going to be a dad.
Yeah, Matt Luke. Love me some Matt Luke, man. He was here at Tennessee coaching tight end, when Coach Cut came over from, actually he was like an assistant somewhere, just had a health scare and was helping out, I think, at Notre Dame a little bit. But anyways, when Coach Cut came to be the offense coordinator, Matt Luke and Kurt Roper was brought in, and Matt Luke coached the offensive line, and everyone loved Coach Luke. So good dude. Was happy for him that he got the Ole Miss job and had a chance to be the head coach at his alma mater. Didn't work out. Wasn't too happy he went to Georgia, but man, happy for him that he's at peace. Some guys can't walk away from that money, man. And it's grueling. It takes a toll on you. Your time. If you're trying to grow a family, trying to have a family, you're not gonna see your kids much. And kudos to Matt Luke, man. Gene Chizik stepped down. Remember, he was DC at North Carolina. He stepped down to spend more time with his family. Now his kids got a little bit older, and now he's back. Now he's back in North Carolina. So good on Coach Luke, man.
Also in Georgia news, this was on Friday, Georgia is set to hire Rutgers' Fran Brown as a defensive backs coach. Brown, who was previously a co-DC at Temple, ranked as one of the top recruiters in the Big Ten for the 2012 cycle. So Fran Brown from Rutgers is going to be Georgia's new defensive backs coach. And then there's also some unfortunate news, scary news this morning for a Georgia signee who Tennessee recruited, E.J. Lightsey. He was shot, but he is in stable condition. I know over the weekend there was a young man who lost his life. I am not too familiar with that story. I just saw the headline. But another shooting incident with a high school signee, this one, Georgia linebacker signee E.J. Lightsey, who was shot but is in stable condition, according to UGAsports.com, Rivals Georgia affiliation. Georgia linebacker signee E.J. Lightsey suffered multiple gunshot wounds in an incident on Monday night. UGA Sports has confirmed the shooting took place in Lightsey's hometown of Fitzgerald, Georgia. He was transported to Albany for treatment on serious but non-life-threatening injuries. He suffered wounds to his shoulder and back and is in stable condition. And they did provide an update per one of his teammates. He's alert and talking. The teammate spoke with him on his way to the hospital and is scheduled for surgery today. So some scary news out of Georgia this morning. Elsewhere in the SEC, and really the last thing I've got for you is a story that I don't want to talk about, Swain, to be honest with you. It's about Nick Saban and him saying, everybody asks me when I want to retire. Retire from what? I'm going to jump into an empty abyss, right? Of what am I going to do? Because the very challenges that I talk about and the things in our profession that concern me, for you and for me both, in your game and our game, that's what keeps me going. That's why I get up every day. That's why I can't sleep at night sometimes. So why would you quit doing that? I haven't figured that one out yet.
Well, guess we just have to beat them.
We had three guys. They all had a significant role in the national championship game, and not one of them, not one, could take advantage of the opportunity that they had. That was a video that was going around recently about Nick Saban discussing the receivers play in the championship game. And so it doesn't seem like Nick Saban's slowing down anytime soon or going to go off into the abyss anytime soon.
Oh, dang.
Which is not all that surprising. And I know that people won't agree with me on this, but I don't know, it kind of gives me a little more of respect for Nick Saban, not tucking his tail and running from new challenges that is facing college football and college football coaches. I respect it, is what I'm saying.
He be dropping some gems.
He does.
The videos I see, man, he drops some truth.
I just hate that he's the coach at Alabama. Why couldn't you have gone to Texas? Or why could you not have been successful with the Dolphins? Why'd you have to be a butthole to everybody with the Dolphins?
No, why didn't you just stay there and not tucked your tail and ran to Alabama
instead of standing firm and standing tall now?
At Alabama, exactly. He should have been being strong in Miami and stayed there and figured it out. But whatever. I guess we have to beat him then one day. anyways, good stuff for around the SEC. Vaughn Birmingham says he will be done within 5 years. What? That's a long time, Vaughn Birmingham. It's a long time. Swain, you really seem to like Trooper as a next wide receiver coach. Is there a personal, specific moment when you was playing that you could share with us that makes you feel that way? No, there's not a specific moment. I mean, it was just a whole year. Like I saw what Trooper did with the running backs. Like guys play. They play for him. They run through brick walls for him. Recruiting-wise, he's going to recruit at a high level. Man, that's what we need. We need someone that can develop and someone that can recruit with the experience. I think that's what we need, that position. You saw what Rodney Garner was able to do coming in, having that experience, taking a group, and they played out of their minds. You got a couple dudes that have a chance to play at the next level because of Rodney Garner. And then look at the defensive players we brought in on the line. Like, look at the close that we had in our recruiting class. We got some really good players. I think Rodney Garner is a big reason why. But you don't do that with just any type of defensive line coach. A young, unproven coach, you just don't do that. You have the track record of developing guys, putting dudes in the league, and recruiting in this part of the country. That's why Tennessee was able to have the results that they had during the season from the defensive line and on the recruiting trail. There's no one on Tennessee's offense that has extensive experience recruiting in this conference. Everybody was new. Golish was new. Hypo obviously new. Ellaby, nobody on offense knows what it's like to be in the meat grinder, in the octagon recruiting in this conference. No one knows that. Now, defensively, you got some guys. You got multiple guys on the defensive side of the ball. But offensively, you don't have that with this staff. You need a dog in recruiting. So that's why. So it's not a really specific moment.
Sounds to me like you're just biased.
Whatever you want to say. I mean, yeah, sure, fine. I'm biased because I know what we need. I know this dude brings it. But I said it before, I say it again. If there's someone that's just like Trooper that brings the same attributes to the table, hire them. I'm just telling you what this group needs from everything that I've seen and know what this group is missing. So,
can we talk about a separate Tennessee football note?
Go for it.
I was listening to Tony Vitello in an interview. Yes, there's a tie between Tony Vitello and Tennessee football.
Okay.
I'm bringing up a Tennessee football note through Tony Vitello because I think Mr. Vitello may have spilled the beans on something.
Okay, what do you do?
I was listening to him in an interview, and he was discussing the upcoming weekend and encouraging people to stop by the baseball stadium on their way to watch Tennessee Auburn on the basketball floor on Saturday. The basketball game starts at 4. Baseball game starts at 1. He said, hey, come on by, stop in.
Come on by. All right.
We don't have the typical weekend of the spring game this year to where we typically host people before the game and can get everybody excited. We're not going to have that this year, so I think Tennessee Auburn before the basketball game on Saturday will be a great time for people to come hang out with us this year. Sounds like Tony Vitello spilled the beans on Tennessee not having a spring game this year, potentially. And he cited not having a spring game because of the construction.
Yep.
So sounds like Tennessee may not have a spring game. I think they're still exploring potential options, but doesn't seem like things look good for a spring game this year.
No, don't look like it's going to happen, Ben.
No, but I just thought it was funny that
we'll hold out some hope, and I'm cool if it doesn't because
me too.
I want the guys to use it as practice, and practicing getting better is more important to me than just having a spring game. I do understand the importance of it for our fans and our young fans beating my football players. I'll never forget those moments. That meant everything to me as a player. And I know it meant the same for the little kids that were getting their autographs signed. So I remember coming up as a recruit during spring game, and being a young player as a spring game. I understand how special it is. But you got to give up something to get stuff. This is the way it works. This is the way life works. Sometimes you have to give up, make a sacrifice to move forward. And in this case, that is the construction of Neyland Stadium. To improve things, you have to shut it down. And in the moment, it stinks. But once that thing is completed and we are in Neyland Stadium this fall, no one's going to think about the spring game.
No.
Because it's going to be extremely nice.
The thing that I hate most about potentially not having a spring game is that Tennessee won't be able to host recruits for a Saturday that is hyped up, but it won't be the same. I mean, they're still gonna host recruits throughout the spring, but like a spring game is like a showcase almost. You get fans in the stands, and you're showing off somewhat of a game day atmosphere, and fans are hollering at the recruits, and they see the fans doing the autograph signings, if that's something that was going to be brought back this year. Like there is a nice vibe on the day of the orange and white game that you can't recreate throughout just regular old spring practice. And it sure would have been nice if Tennessee was having an orange and white game the weekend of when Nico Amalivia is coming into town.
Who?
Amaliava.
That's closer.
Closer.
I think that was right. Maliava.
Sounded close enough.
That was good.
Because Nico sure was loving Oregon after his recent visit to Oregon. Daddy's saying that it's up there with the best we've been to, best visits we've been on. I really enjoyed Tosh Lapoy. So it sounds like Tosh Lapoy doing Tosh Lapoy type of things over there at Oregon. For those who do not know Tosh Lapoy, he's one of the best assistant coaches in America because of how great of a recruiter he is. Wink, wink. Daddy also said
we couldn't bring him here for obvious reasons.
Daddy also talked about how they love the Polynesian community up there, how they're spending $348 million on a practice facility, and said, who spends that much money on a practice facility? In my head, I thought the SEC. It's already happened in the SEC. But, seemed to really like that Oregon visit, and said that it set the bar. And probably the best one that they've been on. But, hey, he and his family are still going to be in Knoxville, looking like early March, which is right around the corner. Tennessee's hosting a junior day on March 5th, which is next weekend, the Saturday of next weekend. And it sounds like the Maliavas are going to be in town for 3 days or so and take a long look into Tennessee and into Knoxville and try to figure out whether they want to take Tennessee seriously and get a feel for the city and get a feel for the town. And
they taking Tennessee serious.
Yeah, but so are other schools. So are they in other schools. So just like how seriously? Like they're taking Tennessee seriously, but how seriously do they want to take Tennessee when Alabama, when Georgia, when Oregon is also in the mix? So we'll see.
That's going to be
seems like Oregon is trending well, but Tennessee's going to have its shot to really impress here in a couple weeks as well.
Yeah, that recruitment's going to be
a doozy.
Mm-hmm. It always is when you're trying to get a player that everybody else wants. So this is part of it. This comes with the territory. And Iao Maliava.
That's what I said.
Sure.
I did. Iao Maliava.
Let's go, Nico.
Nico Iao Maliava.
But yes, Tony Vitello did spill the beans.
Yeah, he spilled the beans. It's like, I know we don't have the typical spring football weekend for the orange and white game where folks can come out because of the construction. But this Saturday before the Auburn game would be a good time for folks to come out.
Yeah, I don't make plans around the orange and white game this year. There's a chance there may not be one.
A chance?
Hey, man, I'm holding out hope that maybe there will be one, but everything that I sense right now, hearing that it's not going to be one. But Tony Vitello just also spilled the beans, too. So.
Tony Vitello said, I don't care that I'm not the football coach. I run this town.
I want my renovations, and I want it now.
I am the mayor of East Tennessee. Everybody's tired of John Fulkerson. I'm the mayor of East Tennessee now. I run this place. I don't care that I'm not the football coach. I don't care that I'm not the good deacon, Rick Barnes. Y'all hate him anyways.
All right, say you're just joking so nobody take you serious and create new posts on the message board.
If they can't tell I'm joking, that's their fault.
Tony Vitello spilled the beans because he's mad at Josh Hypo.
Because he's bitter that Rick Barnes and Josh Hypo get all they want. Josh Hypo has only won 7 games, but Tennessee's already getting a new practice facility. I took my team to Omaha.
Oh, man.
And the most we got is some seat backs on some portable seating down the left field line and a fresh coat of paint underneath the stadium.
I feel like there's more seats.
There's a double-deck porch.
Swain Event. Be right back.
For what?
Is coming up on the Swain Event.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
There are articles and news stories that you read about the things that people do. And when you're reading those and you start to shake your head, you start to scratch your head a little bit. You get confused. You don't understand why. You start to ask questions. But really, there's only one question that matters. What is that question, you may ask?
For what?
Giving other media folks for what, so try to keep the peace. But today, gotta do it. It's tough because this is a fellow Chicago Bear. He is on ESPN covering NFL and college football. Sam Acho. Last week, they were talking about top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. This man had Joe Burrow, number 5, Aaron Rodgers, number 4, Matthew Stafford, number 3, Justin Herbert, number 2, Josh Allen, number 1. No Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what's more egregious, the fact that Aaron Rodgers is 4 or Patrick Mahomes not even on the list. Aaron Rodgers is number 1.
Both of them.
Like, Aaron Rodgers is number 1. Patrick Mahomes is a top 5 quarterback. Joe Burrow just took his team to the Super Bowl. Half of the season last year, he was hurt with the ACL tear. Matthew Stafford just pushed the Rams over the edge. He just won for the first time, really, in his career. How do you have Matthew Stafford this high up? And he's above Aaron Rodgers. Sam Ocho gets it for what? And Sam Ocho is the reason why his brother, Acho. Sam Acho is the reason why his brother, Emmanuel Acho, put the flame torch on Doug Gottlieb. Woo, woo. Got everybody fight. That take was so bad, he got other people fighting.
Yeah, to bring your brother into it, your take was so bad.
That was the worst take ever. So, Acho gets it for what? For that one. Just terrible. All right, let's get to the phones. Let's bring in Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, individuals. How we doing?
Man, wonderful.
Hey, I was just sitting here thinking, as you guys are talking about not having a spring game, a possibility of not having one.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, you know, what we've went through the past 2 or 3 years for us to say we can't have when we have been able to, because of COVID, to be situated to have a spring scrimmage by taking the playbook you guys did during the playoffs in the baseball and just kind of tweaking it, make it a little bigger in places that they can watch the scrimmage. Because they're going to have a place to scrimmage here on campus. I guess it's an indoor facility, I guess. But you take that, people can do they can do the vol walk. They can have they can direct more being with the people that way. They can do signing day. This that you've got where the players can utilize their image. You can utilize that. You can utilize the town.
Turkey man. Are we what do you mean? You playing a game? Like trying to play a game?
No, it's a scrimmage. I mean, do a scrimmage.
Well, they are going to do a scrimmage.
But well, I'm talking about set it up where that you can see from inside the practice facility on the orange and white game, per se, and set it up where people, when they come to do tailgate, interact with players, time and time again, we get said, well, this is not really a game, it's just a scrimmage. So, yeah, okay. But utilize then, inside the town, like you guys, like you did in the baseball. But set up places they can watch the scrimmage.
How they gonna watch? So you mean like baseball? So basically, Tennessee would scrimmage on the field on the field somewhere. It could be indoor. It could be on a practice field. It could be another field on campus. But you want like a video feed there so people can watch outside the I guess facility or.
Yeah, 2 years we've been doing this, dude. You couldn't go in, so now utilize what we've learned in that because we didn't have fans in the seat, but utilize them being only able to see it in these locations.
So basically, live stream practice, and then have fan day where fans want to meet and greet the players and get autographs. Okay. That's not something I would want to go to, but it's not about me. If that's something that Turkey Man and feel like other people want to do, I think this is a great time for Tennessee to kind of get some ideas from the good people. If the spring game's not going to happen, what's something that they will be involved with or want to be a part of? I think you have to know what people are willing to do before you do it. But that's an idea from Turkey Man. Be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm, Let us help.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm, let us help. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Keeping it local with today's Attaboy and Attagirl. I'm staying right here in Knoxville, Tennessee, WATE.com. As homelessness continues to be a problem in Knoxville, one local woman is aiming to make a difference. She's doing so with a small school bus that plays a large role in being able to help others. At first, she had different intentions. It was designed to originally cheer on Tennessee's football team. Wendy Bowles, the owner of the volunteer bus, said it was supposed to be for tailgating. But one day in 2017, that all changed. I met Bobby. He was a homeless person, and I realized that there was more than just tailgating. And the purpose of the bus is now ministering and witnessing to homeless people and basically just anyone in need in our community is what she said. Now the focus is on a different team. It's Wendy taking on the homelessness and those on fixed incomes, hoping to provide them with a small victory to keep them moving forward. She aims to give out at least 50 to 60 bags filled with things like bread, peanut butter, hygiene products, and any gently used clothing that's donated to her. She can, however, she makes it sure to give out anything that's orange. So I'm giving the attaboy to Wendy Bowles. Man, I've seen this tailgate truck before, this bus before, and she is using it to positively impact our community. She gets today's attagirl. Also, we have a local celebrity, as I was made aware by
Jason Swain,
my man Robbie, last night on the Food Network, Kids Baking Championship. Nadia, who's 10 years old, she won the Kids Baking Championship on Food Network, and she's from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Shout out to Nadia.
Hook us up with a cake.
Please, or some cupcakes or some brownies.
Something.
You don't like chocolate, so I guess you don't like brownies?
It depends, man. It depends. It depends.
I'm disappointed in
you. Man, like if I
How do you not like brownies?
Like if my kids make some, my wife makes some, like I have a little piece, but like I'm not going out buying brownies, nor do I get excited when brownies is part of like the dessert menu at a restaurant. I mean, they're all right. They're okay.
I'm giving Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson an attaboy this morning because he, who is now in charge of the XFL, has partnered up with the NFL. And the two sides, the NFL and the XFL, have reached a partnership that will focus on creating innovation programs and protecting the health of players. The XFL announced on Monday. XFL officials made clear that the collaboration will not include player sharing for developmental purposes, but the alignment is notable given the growing number of alternative leagues in the football landscape. The XFL is scheduled to resume play in February 2023 under new owners Danny Garcia, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Redbird Capital Partners. News of the agreement comes as a revised USFL works towards its launch in April. The deal is non-exclusive and does not prevent either league from working with others moving forward. The NFL-XFL agreement will give the NFL a, quote, petri dish to experiment with proposed rules, test new equipment, and develop prospective officials and coaches, XFL President Russ Brandon told ESPN. A Buffalo Bills executive for 2 decades, Brandon said NFL officials routinely discussed the need for such an outlet after NFL Europe shattered in 2007. People would ask, what are the opportunities to look at the game through a different lens from a player development standpoint? How can you be an incubator or an accelerant in many different verticals, from officiating to rules, innovations to playing surfaces to player development? You can go on and on. An opportunity that the NFL has to advance the game of football. I think they've always been open to, and we've had some really good dialogue led by our ownership group. I thought that this was awesome. It's minor league football, but it's not minor league football. I think it's brilliant by the NFL to team up with the XFL to test different rules it may want to put in place. I think it's absolutely brilliant to have essentially, it may not be a minor league player or a minor league system for players, but it seems like it'll be a minor league system for officials, which I think is terrific. Anything we can do to help out the officiating is awesome. And also even testing new equipment and playing surfaces and things like that. I think that this is brilliant by the NFL, and it's also brilliant for the XFL to be partnered with the NFL. So I thought that this was really good. So attaboy to both sides for getting this done, because it will absolutely help the game of football. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
There's a lot of really good football players that are just not good enough to play in the NFL that should be playing somewhere, some league, and shouldn't have to go up to CFL just to play football professionally. So this is a great option because 53 men rosters, give or take. That's not a lot.
No.
That's not a lot at all. So I can't wait for this new league. And
would you watch minor league football?
Mm-hmm. Yep. For sure. Sure would.
I think it would be cool to have like a AAA type of ordeal. Like you don't need as many minor league teams in football as you have in baseball. But if you had like one league that was like a G League, and it played concurrently with the NFL, they play on I don't know what day of the week.
Every day it seems like,
but like
just opposite days.
Yeah, but what day would the minor league
football?
Yeah,
when you play it now. I mean, the other leagues that have attempted to start up, the AAFL and the US, I don't know which one. It was two of them, but they started around this time because it was that window of NFL football being in the off season and providing people with an option to continue to watch football after the Super Bowl. So, I mean, this is the best time to do it.
I'm saying, no, have a minor league season going on while the NFL is going on. Like you have for baseball, and players get caught up, they get sent down, and it truly is treated like a developmental league. It truly is a minor league, just like the NBA has with the G League, Major League Baseball has with its minor leagues. Have a league that is being played at the same exact time. They play every Sunday as well. You have guys that get caught up. You have guys that get sent down. If Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt, then you can bring up a quarterback off your minor league team to be the backup to Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins or something like that. I think that would be terrific.
Yeah, maybe in the future. I mean, you only have six teams right now, 6 or 8 teams. All the games will be played in Birmingham, so it's not like each team has their own minor league team. So maybe in the future we see that, Ben.
Would you watch that?
I watch football.
Yeah,
I watch professional football.
Now it would run on the same day as the NFL, but I think you have to. So those guys are on in my hypothetical league, you have to, so that those guys are on the same schedule, so they can get called up or sent down or whatever.
Yeah, football is a different animal, man. As far as the physical beating it takes, I like doing it at this time, but like I'm open with your idea. Knoxville had 2 young ladies in the Food Network Kids Baking Championship.
Let's go.
11-year-old Sarah Patel, and then the winner was Nadia Albors. That sounds about right.
Cooking you, baby.
11 years old. That's right. Knoxville. Kids Baking Championship. Kids Baking You. That's what we do over here in Knoxville. We got kids that can bake.
That's right.
So, add a girl to those 2 for competing on television, and that's a pretty cool experience there. We will continue with hour number 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Don't miss Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union's President's Day special. Take advantage of these incredible rates. We're offering auto, recreational, and refinancing loans as low as 1.90% APR. This amazing rate is only available from February 14th through the 25th. You don't want to miss this limited time offer because after the 25th, rates will go back up. Apply in branch or online at atfcu.com. Get this rate before it's gone and celebrate President's Day with incredible savings. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is here to help bring your dreams within reach. So, if you're looking for financing for a new vehicle or looking to finance a home improvement project, ATFCU is here with a variety of affordable loan options that bring your dreams to life. Don't miss this opportunity. Sign up during our President's Day special and get a loan for as low as 1.90% APR. Take advantage of these incredible rates. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union is the clear choice. Your less red tape banking alternative. An equal housing lender. Annual percentage rate. Terms and conditions apply, subject to credit approval. The rate you qualify for is determined by your creditworthiness.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the MN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
Ben McKee, Jason Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's health care. Bounce back game opportunity, a get right game. Coming off an emotional loss against a very tough opponent in Arkansas. Didn't get a lot of calls your way. Rick Barnes hoped that he would feel different after watching the film about some of those charge calls, and Ben, he did not feel much different.
No.
Those calls were terrible.
Yes. And Santi had some pretty telling quotes yesterday after he spoke, or he spoke after Rick Barnes did, and he was asked about trying to find a rhythm. I asked him about trying to find a rhythm and just how difficult it was, and he said it was really hard. We were all in foul trouble, and it messed up our rhythm. Give credit to them for the tough defense, but yeah, it was really hard to get in rhythm all game. He was also asked about the charge calls and your mindset as a guard trying to drive towards the basket, knowing that these questionable charge calls are being called. And Santi said, you start to think twice about driving. You don't use the same force to drive. I don't really want to get into officiating because I thought some were blocks instead of charges. It was just really tough to get going. So very, very telling comments there from Santiago. Rick, as you mentioned, said he did not feel differently. He was asked, do you feel any differently after watching the film about the calls on Saturday? And he said, quote, not really. I feel pretty much the same.
If you don't say anything, then nothing happens, right? Nothing nothing gets fixed, nothing gets looked at. Next time you play Arkansas or next time you have that at Crew, nothing gets handled. But if you do say something, it comes across like excuses. And
Right.
you can kind of tell that Vescovi really wasn't trying to do that. Like, he was trying to answer the question, but Tennessee still could have and should have won. The officiating was a part of the game. It did impact Tennessee in a huge way, but you're taught, doesn't matter if it's football, baseball, basketball, doesn't matter. You're taught that you overcome. You overcome. You find a way. That mental toughness is taught. It's preached to you. And you can kind of tell that in Vescovi's response. He really wasn't trying to make it sound like an excuse. It really wasn't. It was more of a reason because there was some bad calls, and those calls led to him being on the bench. It messed up his rhythm. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. So
it truly dictated the game. It wasn't the sole 100% reason why Tennessee lost the game, but it played a large role in Tennessee losing the game. Yes, Tennessee had open shots that they could have made and probably would have been a different story. But I 1,000% believe that the reason most of those shots were not going in is because nobody was in a rhythm as a result of the foul trouble. You just can't get into a rhythm when everybody is having to make their way to the bench due to foul trouble. Your best players are all in foul trouble. You just can't get into a rhythm. You simply can't. And that affected those open shots not going in. When you've had to sit on the bench for so long, I mean, that's the first time all year Kennedy Chandler's had to start the second half on the bench because of a terrible foul call before the end of the half.
Yep.
When he's already left his feet to go up into the air in the lane, and then Jalen Williams slides underneath him. And I had somebody make a good point to me yesterday, one of my buddies. Why is it that we protect the shooter on jump shots? You're not allowed to get in the landing area of shooters, but why is it that we can slide under offensive players who leave their feet in the paint? Feels like it should be the same ruling, because you have the rule of not getting under a shooter to protect the shooter when he comes down. Feels like that should even be more so in the lane where it's even a little more dangerous when people leave their feet. So I thought that was weird. I want to play a clip of Rick Barnes talking about Juwan Howard yesterday. I thought it was a really good lesson for everybody of how to treat people with grace and always maybe not rush to judge, because, hey, I think there's a lot of incidents out there where we do judge others, but we're also forgetting that, hey, we've maybe been in those same shoes before as well. So I want to play this minute and a half clip of Rick Barnes talking about the Juwan Howard incident.
Please.
I did, and I can only tell you, I've made a lot of mistakes as a young coach. I did. I got myself too emotional, and it comes from being competitive. I mean, it really does. And you know, I've had a couple well-documented incidents that honestly, I wish, looking back, it wouldn't have happened. You know, I wish I would have been. And some people might say mature. I think it's a competitive instinct. When games are over with, just like you guys, I have to come in and talk to you guys after a game, and there's so many things going through your mind that happen in the game, and it can be sometimes dialogue that you have with officials. You know, that you just wonder where the communication broke down or whatever. When you feel this way, that way, where you've learned to try to control your emotions until you really can step away from it. But in the heat of the moment, sometimes it's really hard to do. I mean, I said I've had a couple situations in my career that I wish wouldn't have happened, and I'm sure that I have great respect for Juwan Howard, and as you know, we recruited his son and know his family, and I can just tell you, in the heat of the moment, I mean, there's a lot of things we'd all like to do differently. I can tell you that, and but that's, again, I can't pass judgment on anybody, because, like I said, I've made some big mistakes that I wish I could go back, and I've gone back and apologized to players in general that I coached that I didn't think I coached them the right way. I've I've had incidents with officials and other situations that, again, I really wish wouldn't have happened.
How about that?
Good lesson from the good deacon, and I thought Juwan Howard was exceptional in taking responsibility as well. He released a statement saying, "I speak a lot about being a Michigan man and representing the University of Michigan with class and pride. I did not do that, nor did I set the right example in the right way for my student athletes. I will learn from my mistake, and this mistake will never happen again. After taking time to reflect on all that happened, I realized how unacceptable both my actions and words were and how they affected so many. I am truly sorry." So Juwan Howard has been handed down his suspension. Will be suspended 5 games through the end of the regular season. Also received a hefty fine. I think it was $40,000 was his fine, and I think now we can put it into the rear view and move on and kind of realize that Juwan Howard had one bad moment, and that doesn't really define who he is.
Yep. Lost his cool, had a bad moment, but now he's gonna pay the price. So I remember they showed clips of Rick getting into it with Dean Smith when Rick was at Clemson, and every time Tennessee plays Vanderbilt, they always talk about that incident because Jerry Stackhouse was a player on that team. But man, the heat of the moment in that competitive environment, it's real easy for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is. It really is. So just can't let that happen, man. Simple as that. 865-255-03. Vol fan 68 says, "I believe the awful calls were brought on by Cal crying." Well, they were awful against Arkansas. Still got to make shots though. Still got to make shots. 865-255-03.
Let's get to Dave Tona on the Irish Network's hotline.
Dave Tona, good morning.
What's up, my good men?
What's going on?
Excuse me. I'm just going to throw my opinion out there. I think Juwan Howard is getting off super soft.
Okay.
Now, what's going to happen if a player does that? And the thing about it is why I say it's so soft. All right, I know heated emotion, competitiveness. All that other coach did was put his hand on his chest. Like people are saying, well, he put his hands on it. Yeah, but he didn't put his hands on him like that. He just put his hands on him to dude, just calm down, settle down. If he came in swinging, then Juwan's off the hook. But I think Juwan's getting off very easy.
What would you do?
What would I do, honestly?
Well, would you fire him? Kind of sounds like that's where you're leading us.
Man, you know what? He's supposed to be there as a responsible representative of that basketball team, those young men, and that university. I'd fire him.
I mean, I'm surprised that the Wisconsin coach didn't get a game because it doesn't matter. He just put his hands on him this way. It wasn't like he did this. I mean, Juwan was walking past him and he stopped him, and he physically initiated the whole situation. Now, Juwan took it to the next level, which he shouldn't have done, and swung. But if you have you were about to start Daytona and say, well, if it was a player, then you stopped. Well, if it was a player, should that player be kicked off the team? I don't think the player should be kicked off. He should be suspended.
Which they did get suspended.
Yeah, a couple players got suspended. But, I mean, the coach doing it, he should be punished more harshly. And he is. He's getting a fine. He's getting 5 games. I mean, I would understand if they fired him. I would think it was a little heavy-handed if they did it, but I would understand. I think this is the appropriate punishment. I mean, he's done coaching this year. He's done. So all off season, he can think about his last game he coached. That was the last memory we have of Juwan Howard. And he won't have a chance to make it up until next year. So he'll have a lot of time to think about it. And I think that's enough punishment for him. If Rick Barnes did it, I would say the same thing. Hey, 5 games is good enough. Hopefully Rick Barnes ain't throwing in your hands, because I don't know if Rick can handle throwing hands with anybody at his age. But
Rick doesn't have anything to worry about, because Urosh may not be efficient on the basketball floor, but he'd be efficient in that moment.
Yeah, and if Urosh was in there throwing hands, then he should get a game suspension too. But
here's my thing, and I don't mean to open up a can of worms, but I might do it anyways. The morality of it, I mean, is it really that bad in the grand scheme of things? There are coaches coaching who are known for cheating on their wives, known for doing other ugly things, known for cheating in the sport, and we're not calling for their jobs. There are coaches that partake in illegal activities.
It ain't on video.
That ain't on video.
That's the difference, Ben.
I understand that, but like there are a lot of coaches all throughout the country who have done things far worse than one bad moment of somebody throwing a punch.
You ain't lying.
And look, I'm not excusing the behavior of Juwan Howard. What he did is egregious. I'm just saying I don't think that he should be fired for it, especially when you have other coaches, several coaches all throughout the country who have committed a long list of sins that I believe are far worse than throwing a punch. And I know all sins are equal, but in terms of just kind of the moral compass, on my moral compass, throwing a punch is not the same as some of these things that other coaches throughout the country have done and they are still coaching, and they never really got punished. So, I think the firing Juwan Howard talk is really excessive. For throwing a punch, like, I get it. It's a really shameful thing for him to do, really embarrassing, and he should be punished severely. But firing him over one incident, if it was his second or third one, like, absolutely, okay, like something's, you've got a pattern. We've got to make a big time change, and a big time change would be firing him for sure. If it happens again, he should be fired. You can't do that as a leader of young men. You just can't. But to fire him, I think that talk's a little excessive. But that's just me, and I know I'm kind of getting into the moral compass, and everybody has a different moral compass. But on my personal moral compass, like throwing a punch compared to some of these other things that coaches have done and they're still coaching, should not be grounds to fire. That's just my opinion.
Respect it. I respect Dave Tunnell's opinion and respect yours. Cashman Fall says, if Will Wade hasn't been fired, then Howard shouldn't be fired. But if for some crazy reason they make the tournament, he should miss the tournament too, just not the regular season. No, he should miss. And I don't think they get to the tournament. But if they were to go to the tournament, then he shouldn't be coaching. Like, he shouldn't be coaching in the NIT. Like, he should be done coaching for the rest of the year. That's a very, very strong punishment. Vala Birmingham says, I think they should fire him and hire Nate Oates.
That I'm with. I'm with. No, I think they should fire him and hire Bruce. My stock in Nate Oates has taken a little bit of a dip this year, but let's let them go hire Nate Oates or Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, Tony says people need to rewatch the clip. It wasn't the first coach Howard went at. There was an assistant further back that was yelling at him. No, I mean, Juwan didn't swing at the head coach. He swung on an assistant and open hand slapped him.
Yes.
Yeah, blah, blah.
Now,
what did 5 fingers say to the face?
I do agree with what Dave Tono was saying about the other Greg Gard, the Wisconsin coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I took it as him because Juwan was still PO'd about calling the timeout, and the Greg Gard guy, the Wisconsin coach, was like trying to stop him and like explain to him like, hey, this is why I did what I did, and he has to realize that you can't do that in that moment. Like Juwan Howard is not going to be reasonable or logical in that moment. You can't stop him and hold him up and try to explain in that moment. So like I do agree with Dave Toner, like he touched him, but I don't think it was touching him in the manner that maybe some are trying to say, oh, that gives Juwan Howard the right to swing. No, he wasn't touching him in that manner. He was trying to hold him up and explain to him why he called the timeout. But he also has to realize that Juwan's not going to be reasonable in that moment.
They have a history too.
And you want to talk about patterns? I mentioned if
those two have a history.
If this became a pattern with Juwan Howard, then let's get rid of him.
No, I'm talking about those two coaches have a pattern like of not liking each other.
Right, but I'm also saying that Greg Gard has a pattern of getting into it with other coaches. He got into it with Mark Turgeon at Maryland last year. It wasn't like this. Punches were not thrown, but they got into it, and there is a pattern with him, and he is not one of the more likable coaches in the country.
Like if you see someone walking at a certain speed as if they're going to walk right past you, you can't impede their progress and stop them. Put your hands on them. I don't care if you didn't punch him in the chest or you didn't hit him. Like you still put your hands on Juwan. Like still was wrong. Still was wrong. Wrong is wrong. Is right is right. Mm-hmm. Juwan was wrong. Gard was wrong. Gard was wrong too.
You gotta have some common sense. Like the dude is madder than hell at you. You think he's gonna stop and listen to your reasoning?
Yeah.
Like, can we have some street smarts?
Don't have it.
Nobody wants to hear your reason when they're, even if you're right in the moment. Like the person who is wrong, if they are irate, they don't want to listen to you.
Let's get to the phones. Let's get to C-Mac. Oh, Greg Gard. Man, he's not going to miss any time. He got off lucky. C-Mac, good morning.
Good morning.
What is up, C-Mac?
A lot of things. Let's start with, why Ovoy touch Juwan? Why do people have like this sense of entitlement where, it's okay to touch somebody else, regardless of like how fast they were walking to get past you, or how upset that other individual is, in any situation, even if they're super happy, even if they're throwing out high fives, you know what I'm saying? Like what gives people a kind of like that inner energy to say, let me put my hands on somebody else that's not me or, my family. Hell, even in some situations, even with family and friends, it's not needed. That was like kind of my first question. Coach K does the little place the hand on the coach's chest, when they go to shake hands, and I hate that. I legitimately hate it. Swain, you said earlier, I'm glad we don't have to line up at the 50-yard line and shake hands. Every interaction with individuals, it don't have to necessarily be a physical interaction. It's not necessarily always called for. I try to hear what Dave Toner had to say too, but I was calling in, and so I couldn't hear everything that he said. But did David say that Juwan should be fired?
Yes.
Word. David, stop playing. Stop playing. Because if we go back, and run like some archival, tape, there's a chance you probably rooted for Bobby Knight. I can myself say I rooted for Bobby Knight, and we both know, we all know, Bobby Knight can choke the hell out of some kids that he was coaching.
To sleep. Choked them to sleep. They woke up, the gym was empty. Bobby Knight didn't play that. But that's why Bobby Knight got ran out of the sport too, because
he still idolized us. He still idolized us as an incredible basketball mind outside of that one situation, isn't that?
Yeah, great basketball mind. Great.
Turkey Man, that's a really great idea that you had. Don't think a lot of people are going to want to sit in front of a TV to watch a practice, though.
No, I don't. But hey, there's other people that may want to. But if there's enough, and you get a nice response from it, then hey, go for it.
I mean, couldn't we be using that same attention to, support or watch baseball?
You can do all of it. Why not do all of it, man? Hey, when you have C-Mac, and thanks so much for the call, man. When you have fans who are interested, you have to channel that in the right direction. Like with Tennessee baseball last year, when Tennessee played LSU, and you had all these fans that were locked in and loaded and ready to support, and they just couldn't because the stadium did not field enough fans. Tennessee was like, "No, man, we can't throw cold water on our fans who are hot right now. We're gonna do this tailgate. Let's go." But that was in response to Tennessee fans verbalizing that that's what they wanted to do. Like they were on board with doing that. Turkey Man had a good idea, but like how many people are willing to do what Turkey Man suggested? Like how many people are really willing to watch spring practice on a Jumbotron? Like a tailgate type of deal. If there's a lot, do it. If there's not, you just keep it moving, have nice practice, do something for the fans at some point in time, recognize them, recognize that the orange and white game is a big thing for our fans and little fans to come and see their favorite player. So you don't want them to miss that opportunity. Swain Event, be right back.
If you want to be part of the show, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503.
Hello. Good morning, Swain Event crew. The new year is here and it's the 2022 East Tennessee real estate season. As I always do, I'm going to shoot straight with you. If you have a home to sell, then you need to give me a call ASAP. Inventory is low and I will get you the most money possible and more than you think trying to sell it on your own. If you are a seller that also needs to buy a home, you need to call me ASAP, as there are ways I can help you manage that situation and stay in your home until we find what you want. If you are looking to buy, you need to call me ASAP. You absolutely need someone on your side to help navigate the current waters, and you need someone that's going to do their homework and find homes that aren't on the market yet. Bottom line, you need to call me today ASAP. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897. If you are buying, selling, or considering investing in real estate this year, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon, and go Vols!
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these three simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Skip to Big Shot Rob on the Irish Networks hotline. Big Shot, good morning.
Good morning, my guy. How you doing?
Man, we good, man. Good to hear from you.
Good, man. It's good to hear from y'all, too, man. First thing first, I just want to say something right fast. I want to state 2 facts. Fact number 1, if you put your hands on me, don't be mad at the consequences that come with it. Fact number 2.
Write that down.
Don't place an opinion on a situation that you don't have the full details about. That's the only 2 things I want to say about this Juwan Howard situation. That's all I'm going to say. For everybody that's saying, oh, he needs to be fired, this and that. No. Where I come from, where I was raised, you put your hands on me, be ready for the consequences that come with it. And 2, if you don't got the facts of the whole story, shut up. Because you don't know what that man said. You don't know what that man did. He could have talked about his mama right there in the moment. You really don't know what was said in a heated moment and what they got, history-wise. So that's why I don't too much place an opinion on it like that. But it was funny to me. And I don't blame Juwan because, where some people was raised and where they come from, that's just the ultimate disrespect. You don't put your hands on people. And that's all I got to say about that.
There it is.
On another note, positive vibes only. It's a wonderful Tuesday morning. I'm going to have a great day. I hope y'all have a great day. Don't make nobody mad, and don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Y'all have a good day. I'll talk to y'all later.
Sounds good, my friend. I think we're gonna do that, man. I think we're gonna take your advice on our next phone call. Think we can do that, Ben?
Yes.
Let's do that. Let's do that with our next phone call. Let's take our guy Big Shot Rob's advice, and let's have a good day, man. Let's talk to Austin Price, FallQuest.com. AP, good morning, sir.
What's up, Jason?
What's up, man? You found us a new receiver coach?
Not yet.
The Twitter was buzzing. I'm sure the message boards were buzzing. Yesterday, the news of Cody Burns leaving to go to NFL, to the Saints, and leaving a void at the wide receiver coach position. You called in yesterday and mentioned a good fit in Trooper Taylor. Obviously, I played for him and agree that this is a great time for Trooper. I think it'd be a great fit. We look at recruiting, his ability to develop, personality-wise. Guys play hard for him, run through brick walls for him. A lot of talk about Trooper Taylor right now from us and the fans. But any reason to believe that he'll get opportunity, a legit shot?
As of right now, I don't know about legit shot. I think as of right now, that's not someone I would, actually as of right now, I don't think there is a top of the list because I think it happened yesterday morning, and likely normally, probably Coach Hypo knew about it the night before, but I don't think, Coach Hypo went straight into the office and said, okay, we gotta get this done. I think he went to work yesterday and started looking at candidates and the very preliminary stages of everything. I think Trooper Taylor's the name that he's looked at. I think David Johnson's the name he's looked at. I think, Coach Galloway at North Carolina is someone he's looked at. Mike Bellamy, someone he's looked at. Again, infancy stages, like looked at their resume, looked at, like this. I don't think he's had any conversation as of, 8 a.m. this morning. Now, could he have made a phone call in the last couple of hours? Sure. But I think that, very much the infancy stages of this. If you go back to last year, Coach Hypo was very deliberate, methodical. Another word I would call somewhat slow in hiring his staff. It wasn't like he had, he had the whole staff here and, the first couple of days. I mean, he kind of slowly went about his process of hiring to bring in the guys that he didn't know were already coming, when he got here. And so, you got to look at like a guy like Jerry Mack. That was more of like over a week-long process, to get to Jerry Mack as the running backs coach. So, I believe that this is going to take at least a week. The biggest thing is just Tennessee needs to have somebody on scene when potential receiver prospects roll into town for the March 5th junior day, which would mean that coach has 2 full weeks to get up to speed before the start of spring practice. So, sure, if you can have somebody tomorrow, great, but ultimately, as long as you have somebody here by March 5th, you're fine.
And also, recruiting and junior days and all that stuff is important, but, if you bring someone in that's not really familiar with what you do offensively, you have to basically teach him so that way he can teach the receivers. You don't want a situation where the players know more than the coach and the players are actually teaching the coach. So there's a time when, all right, if you want to go outside and possibly bring in someone that's not necessarily familiar with the offense system that you run, you got to bring him up to speed. So, you
at this point, no matter who they hire, I think it's going to be an adjustment for the the style of play. I mean, that's just facts. I'm not sure Coach Hypo just had some ready-made, wide receivers coach list that was going to be like, okay, there's my number one list. I don't think that's the case at all. Again, as of this morning, I don't think Coach Hypo had talked to anyone. Now, have members of his staff made a few calls? I do think that's been the case, just to kind of, start the vetting process. But, Coach Hypo is kind of still in the infancy stages, in my opinion.
What type of receivers coach do you think Coach Hypo wants to bring in?
Combination. I mean, just like any head coach, I want somebody who can develop and recruit. And those are out there. There are also just recruiters or just developers out there. So I think it's finding the right fit of someone who can do the job as a recruiter, and yet who can also help the current receivers get the best and most out of them. So if you're trying to find that kind of mix of the two, it's going to be a little harder than just say, hey, I want a recruiter, or hey, I just want a guy that can coach and develop kids.
If you are a receiver recruit, or someone that just signed, Chaz Nimrod, and a couple other guys in this class that just signed, any idea of kind of the reaction from those receiver commits, signees, and recruits?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that any kid that just signed here that thought he was going to be playing for Cody Burns in 3.5 weeks, that they're in a bit of a state of shock, and now it becomes that kind of like window of time where you don't have a position coach, and it is like, who's going to coach me? Like, and now this is, you sit there for the next 5 to 10 days, and you're somewhat kind of stressed out. I think that's natural, but the good news is most of the kids on this team can inform the newcomers, hey, this is what happens when we have a coaching change. Everything will be okay.
They would know, right?
I mean, most of the staff, most of the team knows. So, I do think, this is something for, like, if you're like an 18-year-old kid, that this is more of a, whoa, this is a business. This is the first kind of wake-up call that, hey, this is, this kind of stuff goes on. And I better like who I'm around. I better like the school. I better like the place I'm at, because coaches come and go. Much like, hey, I don't think to the transfer portal, players come and go.
So Austin, the Malayavas sure are like in Oregon, huh?
Are
they? Sure seems like it when Daddy is pointing out Tosh Lapoy, and everybody knows how Tosh Lapoy gets down, talking about the Polynesian community and saying it's probably the best visit that they've been on. Seems like it to me.
Yeah, I mean,
bring some Polynesians. Come on.
If Nico and his family are expecting to roll into Knoxville and find some big Polynesian, like, that's just not going to be the case. I mean, I'm sure there's some here, but I mean, like, it's not. I mean, there's going to be a much bigger Polynesian community in Oregon, because you just have more kids that have went there over the years, that have stayed there after their playing days. Whereas, here it's just not the case. And so, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Oregon makes a lot of sense on a lot of levels, especially if you're staying on the West Coast. But,
ain't the SEC.
Correct. And so I think a lot of this will depend on kind of, what's important. Is the Polynesian community important? Is big-time football important? And so, you're going to play on prime time in this league. On the West Coast, you're going to play when the rest of the country's asleep.
Yep.
And 75% of your games. And that's just fact. And so, again, what's important? Nico's got the talent that he can make the NFL from Carson Newman, in my opinion. I mean, like, he can make the NFL from wherever he goes. So
don't offend Eric Kane.
Look, buddy, it is what it is.
Well, at least Nico, if he goes to Carson Newman, he can be the what player of the week?
The sack.
Whatever. Kane got player of the week one week, and it was like some random advertisement in the middle of the player of the week.
He got some chip dip.
Kane
from Barber Self.
Player of the week. Okay.
That's fair. Sounds like there may be another Cali quarterback though that Tennessee's keeping an eye on. AP.
Yeah, Jaden Rajada, who is out of Northern California, Pittsburgh, California, the home of Albert Coena.
Ooh. We sent Albert over there and forced him to come here.
Jason, did you play with Albert Coena?
Did I?
I know, buddy. I'm just joking.
I witnessed him punch Corey Campbell through his face mask.
I witnessed him throw that helmet that time. But yeah, I mean, Tennessee's, go take a look at Rajada, and obviously they will continue to recruit other guys, and look at note that the transfer portal has a few schools that potentially could replenish a lot of quarterback wealth. Former 5 and 4 stars, that just are ready to play and quit waiting their time at Georgia and other stops.
Is Dante Moore actually going to make it to Knoxville?
He continues to say yes. I'm doubtful, but again, I'm more
of a pessimist, or however you say that word. A pessimist.
Yeah, there you go.
What did he just say?
I tried to combine pessimistic and pessimist.
You're pessimistic. That's what you are.
You're the glass half empty guy. It's okay. I mean, you're just a ball of negative energy. You're an energy vampire.
I like this.
I'm not.
I like this Jaden Rosada. I like what he got going on here.
Why,
if you had read the War Room last Friday morning, Jason, you would have been able to talk about this show, about Rashada on your show then, and not have to wait till Tuesday.
Well, I just don't want to divulge the information from the War Room, man. Well, it's sacred.
And if you would have answered the phone 45 minutes earlier, we could have talked about it earlier.
This is
Got him!
This is true, but I did call in yesterday. I didn't have
This is
to.
true. We'll okay this week since you called in yesterday.
Well,
and
we
gave us so
thought-
much of your time.
We thought you hit the red button on us because you were getting information about the next wide receiver coach. So we just figured that you were too busy to talk to us then.
I don't remember hitting the red button on you. I just
Did not hear the red button.
I did not hear the red button. That's right.
At least you called yesterday. You're the reason why this Trooper Taylor stuff is going, Austin. So if we don't get Trooper Taylor, everybody's gonna be disappointed and outraged, and
It's all your fault.
It'll be
I
your
said
fault, my
that's
fault.
I said that's who I would call.
That's who I would call too.
You can your talent pool at this stage in the game is people you know, is people at lower divisions, and then people at schools that are likely walking into a dead man walking year.
Does Auburn have a good wide receivers coach?
No, we're not. I don't think Tennessee's going down that road. My point though was like a David Johnson, like Florida State. If they have a good year next year, like they'll survive. But if they don't, they're going to be looking to push Norvell out. And David Johnson knows Knoxville. Honestly, he always wanted to coach receivers instead of running backs, and Jeremy moved him to higher T. And then you look at Galloway got in North Carolina. That's probably a tougher pool, but I mean, there's all the talk about Mac Brown potentially retiring sooner rather than later. Is that something that he would have interest in to kind of reset the clock? Recruits to stay in North Carolina, which is something Tennessee's wanting to be a bigger player in.
Troop can do that.
Trooper, obviously is at Duke. Which I mean is a nice solid job, but would you rather be at Duke coaching football or Tennessee coaching football? We all know the answer to that.
We know the answer.
So I mean, no, I'm just going off people, that make sense. Like, you're not going and pulling, Georgia's wide receivers coach at this stage in the game, in my opinion. You're not going to pull Alabama's wide receivers coach or LSU's wide receivers coach. I think you've got to understand kind of the pool of coaches that you can get as of late February, and and that's what makes it all the more interesting. Georgia's got to go find an O-line coach in late February. Kentucky's got to find an offensive coordinator in late February, just 2 weeks before the start of spring ball. I mean, that's got this disaster written all over it. So, of all of the situations, I think it's easier to find that receivers coach, but you still have a smaller pool of coaches to pick from this time of year.
Good stuff, AP. Good stuff, man. Appreciate the time this morning. Austin's Time is brought to you by Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. All right, AP, when Tennessee hires a receiver coach, man, we expect another phone call from you.
Before it's announced.
Just call the bat phone.
Will you actually answer that one?
It depends if I am laying beside my dog, who is extremely warm. And my dog gets down by feet, and I'm laying on the couch after the kids go to school, and I'm like, I'm going to go back to sleep for about the next 20 or 30 minutes before Swain calls, and I set my alarm and then just turn it off and go right back to sleep. So it's Max's fault. It's Max's fault.
Don't blame the dog.
Max's fault, huh?
We're blaming Mac. Wow, we have sound effects. That's nice.
We've had sound effects.
We only use them when we have to. I think that was the time we had to use it.
Just like when we get people calling in and talking longer than they should be, we hit them with the airplane.
Hit them with the landing plane.
You got to hit him with the Ron Simmons. You got to hit the Ron Simmons.
What? Huh?
You got to hit him with the Ron Simmons.
What's that?
You don't know who Ron Simmons is?
What's the Ron Simmons?
Isn't he the wrestler?
That's right, and he made the catchphrase.
Damn! Isn't that him?
There you go. Damn!
we do need that one. Damn!
You got to do it if you're going to do it mean. Damn!
That's a good Rodney Garner impression.
There really is.
You do Pruitt really well. I think now you can move on to Garner.
I actually do Coach G really, really well, but I'll keep that one for private conversations and not.
He'll give you two. He'll treat you like Juwan Howard treated those Wisconsin coaches.
No, he wouldn't do that.
AP, you like Frank Caliendo, man.
No,
I'm on tour.
Anytime you can go see Frank Caliendo in person, it's a treat.
Listen.
He came to Maryville a few years ago, and me and my wife and John Bryce and his wife, we went and watched him over there, and it was outstanding.
Yeah, he's hilarious. I saw him in person too. He's great. You got a Gruden? He does a Gruden real well. Charles Barkley?
I don't have a Gruden. I don't think I have a Charles Barkley either.
Terrible.
So you just have a Jeremy Pruitt and a Rodney Garner.
Yeah, and we've only know about the Pruitt one. So, anyways, maybe we'll hit the Rodney Garner one day. All right, AP, we got things to do, man. I know you do too.
This is true. This is called Swain Extra.
Hold on. I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you're sleeping on the couch with your dog, are you the back spoon like Derek Mason or the front spoon like Butch Jones?
No, we don't spoon. He lays at my feet, and then he makes my feet warm, and then I just go to sleep.
So the back spoon. So you're the Derek Mason to the Butch Jones.
No, Butch was the back spoon. Remember, he snuck up on Derek.
I thought Derek snuck up on Butch.
No, Butch snuck up on Derek.
I want to know the Swain spoon with his dog, because his dog is like 100 pounds.
No.
Swain's dog is bigger than him.
No, I don't spoon with my dog. My youngest one spoons with him, but I don't do that.
You know, I saw the Swain contingent yesterday at the Panera Bread. Jason wasn't there.
Nope, I was working.
Well, the funny thing, I met Jason's wife. Okay, I'm gonna tell myself. So I met Jason's wife one time. Okay, I met her at a football game this fall.
Mm-hmm.
And so I look up, and there's this pretty lady, and she's grinning at me and kind of waving, and I'm like, who is this lady? And then I see your kids, and I'm like, oh, it's the Swain.
That's right.
I was like, it's the Swain. Because I've seen the girls like several times, and I've only seen your wife once. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, it was funny. I was like, what's up, Junior Swain? And then they got a big grin on their face.
Well, even if you didn't see Swain's kids in the past, you would see Swain's kid and say, that's Swain's kids.
Especially the youngest one.
See, I think the oldest one looks like you.
The oldest one looks the most like Swain.
The oldest one and the youngest one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time I see her, I'm like, listen, you look a lot like your dad. You've got to smile to differentiate, because when you frown, you really look like him, because that's what Jason does.
Yeah, I got a Bill Cowher going on, man. I got a natural scowl. I don't know why, man.
RBF?
No. Nope.
All right, Austin. Because you were late, you're taking up my time at the gym, so we'll talk to you later.
Bring us news, Austin. Bring us news. Or I'll bring you news, Austin.
Do it, buddy. Bring the news.
All right. See you, man. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty. She brings us Austin Price on Tuesdays. Her telephone number is 865-257-7897. And we may have some tickets. Some more tickets to give away this weekend.
Tickets?
Oh, yeah, man. We might have some more tickets.
To the North Pole?
No. We have Saturday tickets from Jennifer Morris that we're going to give out versus Iona. So it's going to be a nice day outside.
Tennessee baseball specifies.
Yes, Tennessee baseball this Saturday. So
Tennessee basketball tickets on Saturday are a hot commodity right now.
Yeah, you can't find those.
Nope. But if you can, you better take out a loan. No stimulus checks coming anytime soon. No more stimmies. You better sell plasma or something.
I'm looking forward to being there.
Me too.
For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Hope everyone has a great day. Swain Event will be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's healthcare. Guys, get that comprehensive health assessment. Get those numbers checked. Get started with the Low T Center today. Have a great day, everybody. Peace and love. We are out.